Hey guys, this is Dave with B10 Reviews. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing well this Theory Thursday evening. Uh, I did not wake up today thinking I was going to stream against Frog Tony. Don't care enough to want to stream against him for any reason. Last night was fun. Suit made a funny song. It was a great conversation between Dane and Ethan. That was awesome. It was a fun stream. One of the best streams I think we've had in a long time. How about you, Jim?
Oh yeah, great time.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a good time, Jim. It looks like you healed up a little bit more today.
Yeah, it'll happen.
You sound a little better.
Yeah, feel a little better. A little bit. About 86% today. 80,
you gained 9%?
Gained 9%.
Oh, 12%. Nice.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, hopefully by just a Friday, you'll be at 92 or 3.
Ooh, we're still doing that?
We don't have to. I'm not doing Boardwalk anymore.
No.
Boardwalk Empire is a good show, Jim. It's a hard show to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think maybe that's
not action.
You got to do like a whole series. You got to do like a whole season. I think you'd have to watch a season and talk about that season. Yeah, the flow season, maybe.
Or we just pick up. We do something different. How about that? How you doing, Mark?
Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
Great.
Good.
I had to work today, and then I took the wife out for dinner. Got home around 6:15, and then worked out till like 7:15, and then I got ready for the show. So I've had a good day. Julio, how about you, buddy?
How's it going, folks? Had a good day. Just normal work.
Yeah, it wasn't a busy day for me. I just had to do some stuff. It's not like I was like sweating it out, Mark. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You know how that is.
I'm taking a 4-day weekend. All my colleagues took 2 weeks vacation over the Christmas break, and I didn't take any vacation. So,
but you got a lot of free days off anyway, right?
Well, I mean, it was slower with nobody around, but I decided I need a little vacation too. So
I haven't had a 4-day weekend in years.
I had a
rough life you got there, man.
Weekend.
Now, does it ever
7-day weekends are what?
Does it ever get boring?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Fine. It's good times, man. Good times.
Well, if you didn't have to watch the grandkids, it'd be more boring, though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, they're lots of fun.
They're lots of work too.
Jim,
what's up, Stimulated?
Chilling, man. I got a headache. I'm afraid I'm starting to get sick or something. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, Kevin will be happy. You'll be out of pocket for 5 to 10 days.
I'll suffer through it for Kevin's sake.
I'm not gonna listen to no crappy boy cynic. I'll kick you myself for free. You should definitely go rest.
Always looking out for you.
He's always got your best intentions for you there, cynic.
Kevin's my goodness, man.
Yeah.
So I live and breathe for Kevin.
He's a good egg.
He is a good guy. He's here every night. And man, other than that, what did you think about last night's show, Mark?
Well, it was a surprise. Remember how we started the show out?
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about tonight? And it turned into something. The best thing we did, I think, was by going to Dane's version of the Eric story rather than going to Eric and watching him because Ethan had done that. Dane's got this. And like as soon as we said that, somebody told Dane and he was in the chat.
That's weird. It's weird, right? And then like, how did Ethan know he was here? Did somebody?
I know. I can't imagine that by something, as Dane had people listening for him. A lot of people here are with EVS. So maybe somebody said, hey, that Dane guy, the guy you hate.
Probably Jim.
Somebody was definitely watching though, because remember he came back into the chat.
Yeah, he came back again after we talked about him just a little bit more, and he came right back.
Yeah.
Who did?
Dane.
Yeah, Dane came back after he had left.
Yeah, he was in the chat. You don't remember that, Dave?
Chat where?
In last night's chat after he left. Yeah, he was in there. Yeah.
After when y'all started talking about him again,
Yeah.
he showed up and started arguing about being called an SJW and stuff.
Yeah, he was arguing with one particular person too.
Yeah,
was giving him a hard time. Most of the people, though, Dave and I talked about it after. Most of the people in the chat were as welcoming to him as they are to just about anybody else. I mean, it's a very friendly.
Yeah, there are. I mean, I saw some people.
Was I here?
Yeah, you had already
for a
left,
little while.
I think.
No.
Yeah,
I think
not
you
at
had
the
already
end.
left when Dane came back.
Cynic was gone too.
I was going to say, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was here. Then I left in the middle of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was looking at my phone. I was brushing my teeth when he was arguing with somebody about being an SJW.
I caught the tail end of that part you're talking about, Mark. Then I saw Dane in the chat arguing with the chat, and I was just going, "Don't take the chat serious. Just
I know, right?
It's good."
He gets that from his own chat, though, too. You know, so he likes
argues
to
with his chat.
Yeah, he likes to go at people, but he gets a lot of hate. All right, you know,
I wonder
occasionally somebody comes in here and is somewhat negative, but it's not the whole chat. Dane gets a few people in his chat that are, you know, and he has no qualms. People just toss people from him. He doesn't care at all.
I did see some people in the chat saying, "Hey, Dane, that's not the truth." You know, I mean, when Ethan was here, like, "Hey, that's not how it really happened." But he wasn't responding to that. But I wasn't really.
It's only people being nasty that he responds to. So
yeah, I wasn't really paying that close of attention to the chat. I was just listening to the conversation most of the time. But those two, I mean, I don't even know about this whole thing that Dane brought up. That I guess he thought was a gotcha moment for Bob on Ethan, right?
Yeah,
that's what it was. But I thought Ethan told his side pretty well.
Yep.
So
Ethan's a likable guy. I mean, even when you hate him or you disagree with him about something, he's still very personable and likable. So
for some people, yeah, I'm sure some people are rubbed the wrong way by him. Everybody's Ethan. Not everybody loves him.
Ethan Ralph?
I'm saying when he's in front.
Yeah, Ethan Ralph.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him.
I'm saying when he's in front of you, like when he's doing his show by himself. Yeah, I can understand.
Well, he's a born showman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruffle some feathers that way, but once he's in front
of you, Killstream was fantastic.
Yeah, until they done that charity thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what ruined it. Yeah, that was terrible.
There's a lot of vitriol towards people when they're not around, but I've noticed when they're together, everybody kind of cools their jets a little bit.
Well, yeah, you can find common ground. Everybody has some sort of common ground.
Oh, great song by Chili Peppers, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of the Chili Peppers themselves. It's a good song, though.
Not a huge fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers either.
I just they sing too much about California for me. And I'm like, that's just not the way I grew up.
I don't like that California love.
Yeah,
I like that song.
Those guys. That's the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim is
you
still
don't like those for
people.
a different reason.
Is that what it is, Mark? It's the fever.
Yeah, it's the fever.
Still a little sick.
I got the fever for the flavor of a Pringles.
That's a Stevie Wonder song, you dummy.
The
original.
Yeah. I didn't want to actually that, so I just thank you.
Flores Pub
actually
for $5 says $54 until Blood and the Sword hits 3K, and every physical backer gets a trading card by Mint Salad. Back today.
Is it a nude?
It's drawn by Mint Salad, not of
I'm just
Mint
guessing.
Salad.
Oh.
Also, you
Is
could
she
just
drawing
Google,
something naked?
You could probably. You can literally just Google Mint Salad nude, and it'll pop up.
You don't say.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Exactly. What was it?
Hey, how about that?
Spearmint.
I saw her going to Subway today.
Oh,
What?
on her live stream.
No, I was going to Subway and I passed her.
I don't think so. I think you're lying. I think you're hallucinating things, Jimothy.
He's not. You said it was at 86%. It's at 14% is taken over.
And if I was sick, I wouldn't be eating Subway. Jesus. Oh, gross.
Yeah.
I don't need a Subway when I'm healthy. I'm sure Zelly not eating there when I'm sick. Jim was stalking her. Maybe.
What was that
in his
$5
dream.
footlong then?
Yeah, did you ask her if she wanted a
that's
$5
long
footlong?
gone. Yeah.
Oh,
There's no more $5 footlongs. Everything's
Oof.
fucking $12 a sandwich now at Subway.
Have you seen the card, Rich? I mean, I'm sure you have. You've got it. Have you posted it anywhere so we could see it?
Oh,
Are you
the real
gonna,
question is,
surprise?
have you paid her? Because if you haven't,
Oh
it
God.
will be a problem eventually.
Pay her first. Pay her first.
Pay her first. And if she said she'll do it for free, save that DM. Good
Is it
job.
waterproof?
Sweet Tooth says,
Jesus,
if I was
Julio.
starving,
What?
if I was starving,
Are you
I wouldn't.
starving?
He's thirsty. Give the man some water.
Oh, she did message me, Dave. She wants to come on the show.
Well, let her on. Send her the link.
Well, I'm not right
Oh,
now. I just, in general,
anytime.
she wants
Yeah.
something. She wants to talk either about James Bond or Justified.
She wants to talk about like entertainment.
Yeah.
Oh,
I talked
great.
to her about Star Trek. I love her Star Trek review videos. The old school Star Trek shit she does. It's good.
No, Crazy Cat Dave does not remember all the nasty stuff he said.
She just started working on it. Okay.
What the fuck?
Rich.
Well,
Oh.
Anna, that Star Wars girl, whatever, man. Why does she get special treatment? Why is she everybody's friend and never gets any heat? Everybody else gets heat.
I don't ever get heat.
No, you're the most liked guy on the internet. I mean, we know that.
I have no enemies.
Because you have no friends, so you don't know the difference.
Julio's my friend.
Yeah?
Jim's my friend.
I'm down with Cynic.
Yeah. It's just you and Mark that I have a
You're
problem.
down with the sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope not. That's gonna suck.
Oh.
I'm at loss now.
I like more people than I hate. And I don't even hate Anna, but last night I was just like, watching that video and it's like, wait, this
Elemental,
whole
you're my
calendar
brother.
thing. Yeah. What the hell? And then the whole filter thing, filtered Anna versus non-filtered Anna, it's a true thing. I think it is even for all these girls now. We see on these fucking shows.
Anna's the one that doesn't like the taste of water. Is that correct? Isn't that her?
She likes dirt.
She likes
She
dirt
doesn't-
and she doesn't like the taste of water, yes.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
She's an
Strange.
alien.
Yeah.
She's a fucking alien.
Should do a Theory Thursday on her.
No, I don't have enough brain power to do that. That would be exhausting.
She's just slightly lacking on reading comprehension is her only problem.
And there we go. Here's Jim with the Anna hate, as always. Jesus.
The guy that's
Man,
blocked,
She just
I'm
needs
not
to-
blocked by her.
She just needs to read
the whole
and
context.
read and like. Go, oh,
Interpret.
now I understand. Somehow I read that and I thought it was the opposite of what it actually said.
Jim, you still haven't said what you wrote to her. I would like to know that.
Nothing.
He doesn't remember.
I think we have a replacement Jim. It's sickness. It's like a Star Trek sickness. Now it's a different
Yeah,
Jim.
He knows what he wrote. He don't want to say it again. He doesn't want to. Maybe that was a reason she did block you, Jim.
No, not at all.
I block Jim on a daily basis, then unblock him. It's just he's too much on Twitter.
Oh man. Right.
Oh, is that right?
Okay,
He's
my
too-
vision
Oh,
keeps
that's a
getting
good
blurry.
question. Read Crazy Cat's chat.
Hey,
That's a very good question.
Who's worse, Jim? Anna or Melanie Mack?
I don't have a problem with either of them.
That's not the question.
That's not the question.
Oh man.
You can
You
like
had to load one of
You
them
can
into a
like them
cannon.
both, but you can like one less.
I
than
didn't
you
say
like
I
the other.
liked them both. I just said I don't have a problem with either.
Easy, fellas. Let's not overstep.
Yeah.
Is he going to answer?
If you had to load one of them into a cannon and shoot them into the moon, who would you put in that cannon?
There'd be some dirt loaded in there.
Well, there's no water on the moon, so that would work out.
Oh man.
She blocked you, Rich? How do you block Rich? He's literally the nicest guy on the fucking internet.
Anna blocked me because I called her a groupie after hating on Barbie and then taking selfies with Margot Robbie.
Legit.
He ain't lying.
Oh, she did take selfies with Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
Nice.
I could never block Rich. Rich is like very, very fucking nice.
Hey, Rich is the guy that when Camelot saw him come on the stream, he's like, "Oh, the voice of reason."
Yeah, exactly.
So funny.
I mean, I don't. Melody Mac. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like her tattoos.
I don't like her face.
Well, I was thinking about it.
I can't take her voice either. Anna's
I
got
can
a
remove
better
her
voice.
Is there anything left of her?
I wasn't
Somebody
talking
else
about having a conversation with her.
Okay, well, yeah, you know I hate the tattoos for sure. I hate.
Well, you can have the tattoos removed. You can't really fix her face.
Well, Jim likes those 47.
Well, they do sell bags.
They do have plenty of fucking plastic surgeons out there.
You guys are getting me in trouble now.
No, we're not. Melanie Mac's never gonna see this. We're too low on the totem pole. Now, when I blow up and everybody finds my
Did
old
you guys
stream,
see that fucking stupid fucking pearly cunt fucking making bogus shit for like what the
Pearly
fuck is
thing?
wrong with that fucking?
Is this that right wing wacko lady?
She's a whack
coal burner.
fucking ugly coal burner fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my
she's a
god!
coal
like,
burner.
What did she do?
she
Burn
made
coal.
all these like fake things, like calling
That's
all
bad
these
enough.
people calling like people catfishes and stuff. It's like if you're looking at the picture, you go, wait,
Oh,
this
yeah.
isn't. What are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. Like it had to have been like a bit. There's no way it was legit because like unless she just has stupid people following her because like she posted like pictures like years old pictures of people when they were like young and then saying, oh, look at them, this is their catfish.
She was going around saying all the right wing conservative ethos were catfishing people.
Yeah,
That's what she was doing. So she done it to like Melanie Mac. What's that chick on FNT that y'all like so much that stole the Christmas presents one year?
oh, Chrissy Mayer.
Chrissy Mayer.
Yeah, but
Sue.
like she
check it
wasn't
out.
even smart enough to take the Face app thing off. You know, like it's
that
like,
was
wait,
funny.
you're using Face app, and you didn't. What's wrong?
You didn't
with
even see it in the bottom corner, you stupid
yeah,
bitch.
like you stupid dumb fucking
Who you talking about?
She'll
Her
paint
name's
the toll
Pearl.
someday.
Pearly.
Oh, Pearl.
Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of Pearl, but she's
Yeah.
making up fake stuff
She's
now.
built like a fucking linebacker.
Yeah, she's a coal burner.
That's true.
She's mad at everybody else because she has to burn coal. So she has to pay the toll. It's just true, man.
I'm confused, Mark. I don't have
Yeah.
a clue what they're talking about.
Yeah, I do remember at least
Been
that
going
she
around
yeah,
taking
that she was at
pictures.
least saying that women with makeup and without makeup.
Yeah, she's going
her,
around
it's
trying to say that
catfishing.
all these right wing women like Melanie Mac, Anna, that Star Wars girl, Chrissy Mayer, there's a bunch of them she did, and saying that they're all catfishes, that none of them are attractive, they're all pieces of shit, and you should all listen to her because she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, okay.
She's
She's
got
degrading everybody to build up her credibility. Is that what she's doing, basically?
Yeah, if you want to simplify it.
Yeah.
She's got a face.
I do have a
maker.
video with her boyfriend in it if you want to see it.
Sure.
Like, right here.
He's not fat enough, Jim.
The front door, we come out and these two guys and the other female that has on the pink sweater are trying to fight immediately. No.
fighting. What do you know?
It's almost like that's ingrained.
It's almost like there's no impulse control.
Do you think, Julio?
I don't know. I'm just
Do you
spitballing.
think it's like fatherless behavior or something?
Maybe.
I don't
Maybe.
know.
Hmm.
It's almost I like somebody should run a study on that and see.
Hmm. What's that girl's name? Paula, the one that's ragging on these girls. Is that her name?
Pearly things. Pearly.
Early
Oh,
things
yeah.
on
I've seen
Twitter.
her.
Pearly
She's,
things.
she's got a face made for single motherhood. I'll tell you
She's got a face made for fucking radio.
that.
Her voice ain't even good though, right? Isn't it
No.
Yeah.
shitty too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Here,
I've seen
I'll
some
find.
people.
I'll give me a second here.
Oh
I've
my
seen
god.
some people talking about her.
I mean, her big thing for a while was, take the right to vote away from women. She was being that woman who supposedly agrees with the extreme right people. So,
Oh.
strange.
She also played
Wow.
Pearl in SpongeBob. Pearl Davis is eternally single
Dad!
for a reason. Coming from the guy behind an MJ avatar. I'm in hiding, Elemental. Me and you were dunking on fools on Twitter earlier today. Don't bully me now. This fucking dude was on Twitter saying that elderly
Who?
people should sell their homes if they
Who was
can't
saying
afford.
that?
Some dude, Elemental, was arguing with him. The guy said, elderly people should sell their homes if they can't afford to pay their property tax. And I found a post where the guy said, he was saying like, well, yeah, they should just get over it. It's just a house. And then I found a post just a few months ago where the guy said, I got my house at 2.9%. Nobody will ever make me leave this home. And I was like, dude, is this you? Like, come the fuck on, man.
I think once you reach 65 or you reach retirement age and your house is paid for, property tax should be no more. You've paid the whole time that you've been there.
That's how Alabama does it. Once you reach, I think it's 70. So once you retire plus 5 years, you don't have to pay any more property tax in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, this is what she posted. The Catfish of the Year awards are in first place. The
Brittany Venti one's rough though.
Brittany Venti. That's not a real picture.
Is it not?
No, that's not a real picture of Brittany Venti. Brittany Venti does not look like that.
Can you enlarge them?
She looks better on the right though.
Yeah, I mean,
I could fix her.
yeah, no, this is like
Yeah,
you
with
can
a
see that this
shotgun.
is somebody fucked with this picture.
Yeah, sleeping psychopathy.
You know,
Like, wow.
yeah, you know. And this is Pearl. You know, look at her. You know, so she's got. Look at her. She's built like a. Oh,
Wow.
Oh.
Lambert.
yeah.
Wow.
She's
She's built like an outside linebacker, that's for sure.
she's why fucking fashion designers hate making fucking bikinis.
Let me
For chicks like
here,
that.
There you go. So here, this girl, like, so she's putting these things up like this. She says, "Oh, first on deck is the redheaded libertarian." Josie's like in her 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like this picture, definitely. This is obviously somebody fucked with this. You know what I mean? This ain't.
Yeah, it's clearly
That
been
looks like
edited. Look at
that
her
looks
face.
like
AI, right?
It looks like it
Yeah,
was drawn or something.
it
It's
looked
not.
it looked very AI.
And
to
that's a
me.
terrible. I mean, that's a terrible angle in a freeze frame. But
Yeah.
I mean, she's still not horrible.
No,
No, not at all.
No.
She's in her
I like
40s,
that.
man.
no. I mean, when she had the nerve, she put Sydney Sweeney in here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Skinny's when you
Well,
saw
and
her.
that's stupid because everybody made a comment
Yeah.
about those bathing suit pictures, but
I thought
that's
they
just
looked great.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, I mean, you know, basically like, oh, she's just your average girl. You know, it's like, well,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Shit.
yeah, yeah.
Them fucking knockers, bro.
You know, like this chick, whoever is that? This is that golfer chick, Paige Spearnick.
Oh, from
Sporanic.
LSU? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, she's
She's
like,
pretty
oh,
hot.
look, here she is without makeup. Look, she just looks like a normal girl. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, she
Still
looks
would.
like a normal girl. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody who's like, holy fuck, man.
Well, she's a neck down 10. I mean,
Mm.
you go.
I mean, her
neck
face
up.
ain't terrible. That's also
No,
another
no,
bad
No,
angle.
it's also like a shitty angle with no makeup or nothing on. And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
You got to have a good foundation, right? If you
yeah.
if for the makeup to work.
You know, and then stuff like this, like with this picture, this Sabrina Ann Lynn, like this is her
Looks
now.
like she's going out on a fucking.
And this is her when she was like 17.
Oh,
Oh,
when she hasn't
no.
matured yet. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, yeah. So she's not 17 anymore.
She didn't have a
Oh.
professional makeup artist back then or anything. Oh.
Yeah. And then here's
Ah,
Melanie
Ah.
Mack. This is like Melanie Mack, I think like 10 or 15 years ago.
Okay.
God, put it away.
And Melanie Mack today.
Ah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would.
Yeah, but some of us aren't that desperate.
Whatever.
Who's this?
This is some other
Nice.
chick. I don't know, like
Oh,
just a
That's thick.
that's
Who's
a
that?
thick chick. And I don't know. This is a blurry picture. Like I don't
Yeah.
know what is.
Go
I
back
don't
to
know
the
what
other
this is
one.
supposed. I don't know what this is supposed to.
Represent.
that's
Represent
Yeah.
really.
You'd have to drink her
Because
one of
their
them McDonald's
face looks
straws.
the same to me, Jim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks the same.
And
Is
I
that
don't know
supposed to be ugly, the
how
other
old she
picture?
is.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what she's trying to do. She's just like she's just mad because she gets shit like
She's in a bikini.
these people. So then there's this chick, which is with DeLuca, I think is her name, right?
She,
She looks-
Was
I
that-
don't
was
know.
that
She looks
high
better
school
there.
picture? That's like a high school
It's
picture.
like, oh god, look at this. She's terrible, ugly in this
She
blurry
looks
ass
better
picture
without
that
all
you
the
can't,
makeup, I think.
see
Mhm.
what's going
Even
on. It's
blurry.
like,
Yeah.
It's cute.
yeah, I mean, it's not, I mean, it's just
Yeah, that looks like the high maintenance chick you don't want to date. The other
Mordred
pictures
Kane
look
says-
fine.
Jim would fuck a Bigfoot if he could find one.
Are we talking shit on Pearl? Yes, we are talking shit on Pearl. Well, hey. And I don't know. I mean, Brittany Vente's this is a fucking
I see
fuck
no
with
difference.
picture.
Dude,
It's the
she
same
is,
picture.
did she really have all that acne growing up? Holy shit. That's a lot
Kids
to
have acne.
overcome.
She did.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen her on like Compound Media with no filter, like sitting at. She's not fucked up looking. Her eyes are kind of far apart, but she's not.
Yeah, she's always had an eye problem. Yeah.
Like, and even Chrissy Mayer, like this is a picture of Chrissy Mayer from like headshots from IMDb from 10 or 15 years ago that were professional headshots.
Sure, like she goes to get a professional shoot. Sure.
And this is just some cameo she did on her own.
Sitting
And
at
this
home
is
on
a
her couch.
face app that Chrissy Mayer actually, you could see it's face app that she made her face look like an old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
did
it's
it
a
work on the
joke.
body too?
Well, listen, I'm just saying.
I mean, I was just curious.
And like, I
You're
don't
an
understand,
apple.
like Sarah Gonzalez.
you gotta hold your palm flat, Julio, so she doesn't bite your hand.
Now Sarah's nose does not look real.
Yeah. But I mean, here she is with no makeup and stuff on. I mean, it's like years ago though. Right?
Sure.
I mean, it's gotta be like years ago. I mean, she's a pretty woman.
Yeah, she just got a real skinny neck. Other than that, she's pretty. I'm not mad at her.
I don't know who this is.
I've seen her before. Shit. I've seen her before.
She's a
Can't think of her
nun.
name there.
I don't know who this is.
I have no idea.
Here's your Dave's favorite girl, Anna.
And the one on the right, she's dressed up as a Lois Lane. So
Yeah, that's
why her
definitely
hair
not
looks.
her hair.
That's literally a wig.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she's-
literally a wig, but you would say the one on the left is a wig too, Cynic. You think every woman's got
I
a
mean,
wig.
her
on.
nose
No,
is
I
a lot
don't.
bigger than
I know when I
Her,
see
no-
them.
her,
They look fake.
her nose is completely different, dude. Like, that's
Yeah,
what I
y'all
was
just
looking at.
doing it because y'all hate Anna.
No, I'm just wondering, did she get a nose job or something, or is it
Yes,
just that
yes,
she
she
touches
did.
it?
Yeah, no, she did. Yeah, there's like old videos of her with that original nose.
Okay.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, she's not Jewish. She's Portuguese.
Because here's the clip right here of Josie talking, and I mean, she's not ugly.
No.
Nah, she's got a weird.
Oh, and here's Pearly. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I told you, she's a coal burner. A long black
Yep.
train.
Well, I looked at his ass on the football field for 4 years. I figured I'd just fuck him.
No, stop it, Julio.
Oh, is this guy making fun of her
Yeah.
without?
Oof.
I mean, a lot of people think she's actually a closeted lesbian, and that's what this is all about. Is because she's
No,
I
she's
don't
dating
know.
another black dude now. Coal burners. Every
She's
time.
classic black dude body type.
Oh, for sure. I wish Ruby was here. I sent him the link, but we need him to tell us like,
Right.
is it or isn't
No,
it?
we
you know?
don't. No, we
Damn,
don't.
that bitch is fine, motherfucker.
So is this still her making fun of people?
yeah, she's so that's who she is.
Yeah, she's getting good traction.
Is that what she did all day? Is just posted shit pictures?
She's
Yeah.
been doing it for a couple days now.
Oh yeah. Well, Happy New Year, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Oof. Disturbing.
Rich says, I want Ruby to date Pearl.
Oh, the stories we could get out of that. But I think he's too short for her.
Yeah, well, we don't know how tall that dude was, but I mean, I know Pearl's like 6 foot tall, so
Wait, what is
Mm.
this?
Ruby would climb her like a jungle gym.
Doesn't matter when you're horizontal.
Oh boy.
He can't do shit. He's in chat. Oh, I'm working on a thumbnail, nerd.
Yeah, who's Pearl? Kevin says racist.
I'm not racist. You're a
Dare
racist.
you.
You guys see this?
Pearl thinks Tom Hardy and David Barnes, aka Angel on Buffy, are ugly.
I'm a dude. I can't judge.
Pearl looks like a deformed giant. She does look like a giant over the other chick.
What is this? Who is that? What is this?
There's something I don't know. So
Who is
something to be and appear before the Honorable County Court of Law, one of Collin, Sumpter, Bloomingdale Road, McKinney, Texas. Eric
Looks like a-
July.
Looks like a boring non-issue.
Something I don't know. Updated.
Looks like a
Years,
Totoso.
Sakina.
It looks like a fucking Totoso to somebody that was dunking on me a few weeks ago, saying I was fucking wrong about that case. I wonder who that could be.
Okay.
It's nobody
Is
on
it
this panel.
Totoso? Okay. All right. Cool.
Sleeping psychopath. Tom Hardy is hot. She's a dipshit.
Yeah, Tom Hardy is he's not an ugly dude.
No,
Short king.
Tom Hardy?
He's a
How
little
tall
guy.
is
I
Tom
think.
Hardy?
he's probably as tall as Tom Cruise.
Jamie,
They're all
pull that up.
You won't
Alright,
get the truth from Wikipedia. Come on. Or IMDb.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
wow.
wrong. He's
5'9".
5'9". So he's my height. So yeah, short.
Mid
Oh.
king.
At least you call yourself short.
Julio's he's big in spirit.
Yes.
Anyway, did you guys know there was a level 4 solar storm today?
I
Again?
saw.
Yeah, I saw it in 3 different chat groups.
Well, you can never say you weren't informed.
Ding, ding, ding.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
must be a gym post.
Every time.
Mm-hmm. He wants
Good
everybody to know.
Good morning, folks. Today we're going over the solar storm from yesterday. Went way beyond expectations. We'll also hit a key
It'll be boring,
geodynamo
Crazy Cat, you're
characteristic
wrong.
leading to magnetic pole reversals and check out the drought look as well. But we are starting, as always, with the
drought
last
look.
24 hours in
The
the star, where
drought
it
look.
was a calm
That's
day.
the outlook
No
on drought.
significant
The
solar
drought look.
flares or eruptions. The sun was content with what it had already sent our way. We do have sunspots, plasma filaments, and
I
large
assure
coronal
you,
holes.
wrong, Crazy
But let's
Cat.
begin the space weather analysis with the solar wind, where it appears
she
that what
acting
we
up in the
actually
chat
had
again,
was one
Cindy?
medium shockwave and
Yeah,
2 or
she's
3
bad, I was
smaller
right.
shockwaves that followed. The latest impacts
the case
triggered a
wouldn't
level
go
4
away.
geomagnetic storm condition yesterday. Folks, level 3 was the peak forecast, and the impacts were actually not quite as powerful as the forecast suggested. So how did we get to a level 4 event
The
off
sun
of
better
this
pick
solar
up its
storm?
game.
How did we get auroral displays visible from Mexico?
Mexico.
Earth's weakening magnetic
Fucking
field is the
Ethan
answer.
Ralph
The
saw the
ongoing
auroras in
magnetic pole
Mexico.
shift, leaving
Yeah, he
Earth
should be
more and
giving us
more
the news.
vulnerable to smaller and smaller solar events. It's the drum we have been beating nonstop for 2 years. Quick look at the sunspots here. Obviously watching for more flares and CMEs, but a bit of development would be needed. So equal focus goes to the plasma filaments, which can be seen in the chromosphere view, watching these as well for eruptive behavior. And of course, we're also on the large dark coronal holes. Their solar wind is likely to arrive tomorrow or Saturday. It's another chance for geomagnetic activity. Up next, we're going to the drought.
Oh,
look.
amoral
Current
fad.
drought
Hell
map
yeah.
shows the
Good to
patchy
see you,
moisture
buddy.
status. That center cut of the country is the only one not in drought, and it is expected to stay that way. Brown and yellow have poor outlooks the next few weeks. Green and gray, situation expected to improve. Top story today is a new manuscript that claims to have discovered a key signature to these
Told you.
magnetic pole
Look,
shifts,
Julio.
something that indicates a reversing
Crazy
trend
cat
in
in
the
the chat
system,
acting like a
and which
woman.
makes them
Has to be
vastly
right.
more frequent. That thing is an asymmetric condition along the equator, something that causes anomalous magnetic field areas to show up near the tropics. That's our sign we're in a rapidly reversing system. Well, turns out the number one feature of the modern magnetic field is an anomaly in the tropics, the South Atlantic anomaly. It's precisely the type of
Geographic?
equatorial
Hey, what's up,
asymmetry the study
Amoral?
was discussing. It
Been a while.
indicates
Where
that
have
we
you
are in
been?
such a system, and indeed, we are heading
Protest,
for that
probably.
magnetic reversal right now. Folks, 2025 pole shift conferences are set. You can see the dates
Here we
there.
go.
And don't forget, Dr. Dunning
What
will be
the
the
fuck,
special guest
pole
May 3rd
shift
and 4th, a
conferences?
two-day event.
I just want
Pick
to
a
know when his
time,
birthday's
come out and
coming
see
up.
it in person. ObserverRanch.com. We greatly appreciate your support. We'll do this all again tomorrow, right here,
I'm interested.
right now, 6:30 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun.
Julio. Look at
Eyes
crazy
Eyes
cat.
open.
So
No
mad.
fear.
Oh, is she
Be
all
safe,
fired up
everyone.
Yeah.
now? Women, am I right?
I swear.
Pearl is a tree, and she wants monkeys to climb and live inside.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
That escalated.
Sweet Tooth says this is making my pole shift inwards. Oh god.
Yeah,
So-
that's a thing, Mr. Self-Destruct. They've gotten lots of new fonts and colors and shit on StreamYard. I gotta figure out like when my subscription renews, because I am not gonna pay $900 for this shit. It better not be on auto renewal, Mark. I got to go into my. I got to figure out how to stream with something else.
I looked into
Okay.
StreamYard. I
set it up
didn't
as
know.
set it up as an LLC and write it off on your taxes.
But you don't have to even have an LLC.
Do you not? That's just
Uh-uh.
how I would do it. Okay.
No,
I just do everything like that.
no, you don't. You can claim it as a hobby.
Okay.
So,
But how much of that can you claim though? What's the limit on it?
I just give all the fucking receipts to the accountant, and he gives me my
And he
return, and I go, "Thank you."
Thank you.
I don't. Yeah. Here's your fucking $500. He calls me a month later. He goes, "There you go, bro. Have a good time." I'm like, "Thank you, man." He goes, I say, "Am I going to get audited?" He goes, "I've never had one client audited." I'm like, "Okay, you know the rules." So I drive my ass to Arkansas every year for that guy to do my taxes.
Yeah, I'm writing
Damn.
this computer and microphone off. It's a hobby.
Oh, everything has a receipt.
Oh yeah, I've got all the receipts for everything that I've done, but I haven't bought much to do streaming.
Oh, I should get a disability claim for having Cynic on.
Let me know.
Holy
Send me. What would it be? It wouldn't be a W-2. It would be. Send me a form. I'll fill it out.
Yeah, the government will pay you to be a caretaker of the disadvantaged. So
Yeah.
that's a good point, Andrew.
Oh,
I'll fill
no.
the paperwork out for you, buddy. That's good.
You've
Don't worry
already
about it.
done it. You know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, just let me know, man. If you want to make,
I really don't want to know your real name, and I don't want to have to ever claim you for anything that might.
It's funny.
affect my.
I've told all of y'all my real name.
No, your whole real name. Like,
Oh, it's easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Once I told
yeah.
you my last name, a lot of things would make sense.
must be Dick or something. I don't know.
Nah, it's not Dick.
Oh, it's not.
No, I
No.
am a dick.
You guys watched the bonus episode today?
I started to, but I was too busy getting ready for a stream that never
no.
happened earlier.
Hey,
It was a
Jim, we were talking before the stream started about there's maybe a conspiracy between the three things. You're talking about Trump's shooting, right?
oh yeah.
The
Well,
bombing.
it's just weird. Like they're all like these guys.
They're all
like,
connected to that military base.
to
Sleeping
Fort
Silent.
Bragg, and then what
Fort
else is
Bragg,
weird
yeah.
too is Biden changed the name of that place so no one would know.
Isn't Fort Bragg where they had that shooting like 15 years ago from that
No, that was
office?
at Fort Hood.
Fort Hood? Okay. So Fort Bragg, these
But that
guys
was also a place that they changed the name of. Biden did.
Oh, what's this? Biden's gonna offshore oil
Well,
ban?
he's going to sign an executive order saying we can't drill from oil anymore, and that somehow that's going to stop us.
Oh,
And Trump
like
will just sign another executive order that
don't
reverses that
understand
previous
this.
one.
Oh,
That's
that's-
stupid.
I don't know. He gave Liz Cheney an award today,
biggest
Presidential
cunt
Medal
in
of
Congress.
Freedom.
But
I don't know. As long as he doesn't give her a pardon, that's all I'm waiting on.
It's
See
a
if he gets
national
a
stupid
pardon.
bitch award.
Yeah, it's just weird that okay, all those three people are connected, but now there's this whole conspiracy that the guy in Vegas wasn't actually in Vegas. That doesn't make any sense because he was an active duty Green Beret and supposedly he should. If it was him, he should have been able to do a lot better job of blowing something up.
I thought it was just like fireworks. That's what it sounded like to me.
You know,
Like fireworks
They,
may have
they do
ignited.
make
and
some
then-
big fireworks,
Yeah, but
you wouldn't know that though, Jim.
Who?
You don't know anything
I
about
would.
fireworks.
I do actually know a
Yeah.
little bit about fireworks. I used to.
I'm
Never
kidding.
mind.
It's a joke. I used to live in the same place, or your sister used to live in the same place I did, right? I've probably
Someplace.
seen your fireworks show.
Maybe. Could be.
Probably.
what?
Might have been the other Jim,
Could have been a different Jim.
the original Jim,
Yeah,
The original
not the
Jim.
replicant.
And this
Oh,
replicant here
the
is way better.
100%. Not
Yeah.
the 80%,
Fuck, man.
Jim.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to shoot 8-inch mortars off the fucking Kankakee River bank. Fucking things are like that big. Mortars.
8-inch mortars. You were shooting those off on
Yeah.
4th of July
Sure.
Or-
Other
or
days
on-
too.
or on Tuesday afternoon.
On like a good Wednesday, the sky's clear. You just go out there and boom.
It's real weird though. That part of the river is about a foot deep because it's all dammed up. You can walk across
Really.
one bank to the other. The problem is in town, Wilmington, you can walk up to the water. On the other side of the river, it's a cliff. So you can't do anything if you go to the other side. You just stare up. So nobody has docks on the fucking Kankakee River on that whole side, Jim. It's fucking weird.
It's weird, but also a bunch of people always die at that dam because they try
Yeah.
to go fish there and get sucked in and stuff. But I don't know. It used to be a lot of fun. You go like upriver, all
Mhm.
all the way down, one of those. I can't fucking by I think it was Warner Bridge.
Sure. Yeah.
Warner,
Warner
I think
Bridge.
Warner Bridge, and then you would get in the water there on a tube and just have a cooler on a tube and float and drink. It takes like an hour and a half to get to the back to the park there.
Right. Yeah.
Mordred Kane.
It is such a slow ass river though. That's not nice.
Something long, we too low.
Holy fuck.
Holy fuck!
So Trump shooting, the Tesla truck, and New Orleans all connected.
All
to Fort
connected
Bragg.
through Fort Bragg. Yeah, and the Trump shooting. Well, not the Cybertruck and the New Orleans guy both rented an electric vehicle from Toro
Through,
or something.
yeah, which is
app.
that.
I've
That's-
never heard of that app until today.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that's weird.
Mhm.
But it's just
Now,
weird.
Are we talking about the first Trump shooting or the second attempted
the
shooting?
second attempt?
Yeah.
So that white dude was a military
Yeah.
guy, right?
Well, no, he was hanging out there though. I mean, see, that's another thing too. Is like the guy who they think the Green Beret guy who was an active duty Green Beret who was just home from Germany on leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like, there's a picture of him wearing a Slava, Ukraine shirt and all that, Salami Ukraine or whatever.
Yeah. Slava your mama or whatever they
Yeah.
say.
So I don't know, but his family is saying no, this doesn't make any sense. He was a Trump. He liked Trump. Why would he do? This doesn't make any sense. So maybe who knows? I don't know.
Who liked Trump? The
The
guy
guy-
from New Orleans?
No, the guy.
It's like Abbott Costello.
The guy in front of Trump Tower. And
The guy
Oh, in front of
because we
Trump
like
Tower.
Trump, and
Oh,
yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? Because hey, they said there was all these other people involved in the New Orleans thing. They were looking for people. They had video. They had co-conspirators. They had people on tape planting devices. And then all of a sudden today, this other guy comes out for the FBI and goes, "No, he acted alone." We did some interviews. And those people said they weren't involved.
oh, just interviews.
Yeah.
Okay.
We asked them, "Hey, were you? No, we're cool."
no, we're good.
They went to the
I didn't
mosque,
mean
and the
that.
people at the mosque said, "No, Allah Akbar and all that's not us."
Yeah. Aloha snack bar.
So they're not going to find any more fucking ISIS flags in New Orleans, right?
Who knows?
Fuck. They killed the guy, right? In New Orleans.
Yeah, they killed that.
Yeah. And so we don't really
And that's
know
the
his
guy.
motivation.
They can't identify the body. The body is too burnt and destroyed in Vegas to identify. But
But yet
they
they
know
found his license.
they found his license and his passport completely undamaged.
Oh my God, like the Twin Towers.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe we ought to make
Weird.
people out of those passports and licenses because those things
They're pretty
survive
goddamn
anything.
rugged, man. Holy
And somehow
hell.
that guy shot himself in the
Yeah.
head before he blew himself up. But who knows? I don't know. I mean,
Vegas
it was a
isn't
Tesla. I mean, how do they know that somebody didn't remotely pilot the Tesla there? Maybe it was on autopilot, pulled up there, and the guy was already shot in the head.
I wish it did that. That'd be awesome.
Wow.
I don't know.
Dave's face was so serious.
I was
dude.
like, man, hey, go pick up the kid or the wife Tesla truck. See ya. That'd be great. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
I wonder how many hours of battery life there is in a Tesla truck. I know you can pay for different models, right? Like all these fucking ripoffs or
It's
They,
based
they,
off
they,
miles.
they
though.
somehow can do something with the programming where they can give you an extra 100 miles in an emergency.
well, it's always an emergency, asshole.
So I
Like-
don't know.
Yeah, I'm always trying to like get somewhere so I can poop. It's an emergency, Tesla. Give me 100 more miles.
Just hurry up, man. Like I don't want to charge this fucking thing every 3 hours. That would drive. Well, I pump gas about every 4 hours. So
I think you can go around 300.
Yeah, but you pump gas.
330
How long does
miles.
it take you to pump gas?
5 minutes. Yeah,
And while it's pumping, you go in and grab you a snack. Use the bathroom,
sure.
and then by the time you come back out, the thing's already clicked. You
Mhm.
round it off, and head out.
One time it didn't click when I was at a Casey's.
Oh God, I've had that happen, Dave. I've had that happen.
And I'm like,
Oh,
holy shit, there's a lot of gas on the ground here.
I was
Jesus.
we have gas stations called Mapco's down here, and I went in to get beer, and I went to fill up my car, and I was bullshit with everybody in there. And I
Sure.
come out, and it sounds like it's fucking raining, and I was like, well, that's weird.
Was
It's
it
not
was
supposed
raining?
to rain.
Was it raining men?
It was no, and
Did
I
you go
look over
hallelujah?
at I look over, and gas is just going everywhere.
I don't think you're supposed to put gas in Teslas.
Jesus Christ.
Here we go. Jim's back.
He's at 100% now.
He's at 100. No, so yeah, I go to the pump and it's like, this is when gas was like $2 a gallon, $2.50 a gallon, and it was $100. I was like, oh,
no.
shit. Well, and you know what I did? I drove right the fuck off. Maybe not the coolest thing to do, but it was quite
Dude,
embarrassing.
It was spraying like up like a water fountain of gas. It
Oh,
was
out of the gas
everywhere.
can, out of the gas tank, yeah.
Yeah.
Just shooting back out.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Mhm.
I don't remember how much it cost. I try to forget that. I was so pissed.
But I was the weird thing is, Mark, it was on my boss's card for work. I was like, he's gonna see $100-something charge
Yeah.
when I'm usually costing like 45 or 50 at that point. He's gonna go, what the fuck? Are you filling up your family car on the same time you fill up my car? Never noticed. But he notices if I accidentally pull that card out, Julio, when I'm buying lunch.
Mm.
I'll get a call immediately, like, hey, did you just get lunch at fucking Jimmy John's? I'm like, God damn, did I? Did I?
No, I
use your
told you I
card?"
went to Subway.
He calls you on the same day, Dave. The fuck you just?
Like,
What'd you have at Jimmy
literally,
John's?
I'm eating my fucking sandwich.
I told you I went to
God.
Subway.
What's your
Vivian
boss's
said he
last
does
I
the
don't
same
like Jimmy
thing.
John's. Ugh.
Does your boss have an early life section on Wikipedia?
Well, all these credit cards have the alert thing on there, right? So,
Oh,
you know, so I'm sure, I mean, he only pays for gas and hotels, which is fine. But, and I don't ever mean to pay for food with his card, but sometimes you just grab the card, you swipe
Yeah,
it.
you're
and
not paying attention.
Yeah.
To that. Yeah.
And I go, fuck. And I go, yeah, take it out of my fucking check. Yeah, I mean, or
Take
I
the
don't think he ever
$20
does.
out. Of,
I don't think he ever has. Yeah. But it's just kind of funny because I'm like still eating. He's like, hey, did you get some food? I'm like, how the
Yeah.
fuck did you know that? Like, what?
yeah. I have to eat, asshole. Yeah, I got some food.
You've never asked me that before. I've been here 6 years. What's 6 years? What's going on?
It's just weird that people get an alert on something that small. I mean, I have alerts, but I think the lowest is like $500. I don't want to be alerted for, every $12 transaction. That would be
Right.
annoying.
It would be, especially when you got 5 employees out there fucking using their credit cards all day for gas and shit. It would be annoying as fuck. What's this, Jim?
Oh no, this is just something. You guys know what Lemuria is?
Lemuria.
Familiar with the word, but I'm not 100% sure. I know Edgar Case. I know that one. What's Lemuria, Jim? Are we gonna?
Hello, I'm Jim Vieira.
Guess
I'm
I'll
an
find out.
author and a researcher. And today I'd like to share my
Now you know.
research on a strange subject, the lost world of Edgar
Oh.
Casey.
Edgar Gacy.
Yeah, he was he dressed as a clown and he buried people under his house.
Sure. In the Chicago suburbs.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
And he had a picture to him taken with Jimmy Carter. So I consider since Jimmy Carter just died, we would bring it up because
Timely.
Wasn't Gacy, he was like on the city council or something, wasn't he?
he was a Democrat power broker. Yes.
Yeah. Fucking weirdo.
I saw next Thursday is a federal holiday. Jimmy Carter's because of Jimmy Carter dying. Thought that was weird.
Next Thursday.
That's what my son said. He said the 9th is a federal holiday and they have off work.
Oh. Yeah. Well, the feds
it's
probably because
for-
they're fucking assholes. Take
For
everything.
the funeral or something? So people have the right to mourn or something?
I think so. He was just happy he got the day off. He didn't give a fuck who died. So whatever.
Huh.
Take it.
Did they do that for Reagan?
Who?
Yeah, right.
What?
Do they do that? I mean, just another fucking free
I don't
day
think
of
so.
money.
They didn't do that for George H.W. Bush, who just died like a couple years ago. Right?
No.
Didn't he just
Well,
die?
it's a one-shot deal, not every year, Dave. Just
No, I understand that. I get it, but like I don't remember.
I'm saying they didn't have a holiday when Bush died, right?
Not a paid holiday. I mean,
You know,
not that,
I mean, he
not
was
that
just
I'm aware of. I'm not
you
a
know,
federal
I mean,
employee, so I don't know for
was
sure.
the guy who killed Kennedy. So you think if they were going to have a holiday for someone, it would be
Yeah.
Allegedly.
well,
yeah, we don't want
In
to get
my
in trouble.
opinion. Yeah.
you always got a day off in the military. How does the military take a day off? Wouldn't that be the perfect time to attack?
That's a good point.
Oh, that's right. Gacy's the guy that he saw.
Yeah, he would
all-
hypnotize
yeah.
little boys and then take them into his
No,
basement and
he-
put them in
he
a crawl
was the guy-
space.
Not this Gacy.
Sounds
That's
like
John Lee
Nickelodeon.
Gacy. But Edgar, like he did all this shit and he never got paid for it, Jim. All of his visions and stuff, never. They did close the 118 freeway. I couldn't get to work. Huh.
Oh,
Okay.
so he's saying it's renowned psychic, so it's got to be related to Renowned Zero.
But he was very renowned back in his day, and some people thought it was kind of crazy that he was doing it for free.
Yeah,
Jim.
Casey Affleck. Yeah, he's supposedly a piece of shit.
Didn't he manage the Mets back in the 60s?
Sure.
That was Stengel, Casey Stengel. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
You
He
say
stinks
Casey
a lot.
Affleck's a dick compared to
Supposedly a
Ben?
piece of shit. Yeah, supposedly he's a piece of shit. I guess I don't know. It's rumors, stories.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
Was
Like-
Casey Affleck a dick?
It's like I think he's like got Me Too rumors or something is what I was getting at. Maybe
Mhm.
could be something.
Many such cases.
Yes, many such cases of
All right, let's see. Egypt.
One of the criticisms is that
So one of the criticisms is that he would do things to women.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh, you're making this up.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
This is Theory Thursday.
Well, you're making some new ones up. Now, I do have another video too about.
Yeah, I thought you had a video. This was just something.
Mine's about 10 minutes long. About new proof that the moon is older than we thought, Julio. All these scientists and their theories.
Okay.
So this is what they say it looked like in Lemuria.
Oh,
It's like a Lord of the Rings picture.
I was going to
It looks
say.
like an Assassin's Creed game.
Could be. You know. They got all these symbols on these rocks here that mean stuff. I don't know what this is supposed to be. This is like round ball here.
It's one of
Like
those
rain.
living. That's one of those living rocks, Jim.
Could be.
It froze in place, like all our mountains, right? They're all frozen
Yeah, could
giants
be.
and animals and shit.
Could be.
Good callback, Dave.
Yeah, I actually thought that was kind of funny.
Yep.
That one.
It's not a mountain, it's a dinosaur. Oh,
It's a
okay.
dinosaur. It's giants stacked on top of each other. Oh,
It's like
boy.
this. Like this was a giant that right here, and like it opens up and you go inside the face.
See, that is freaky as hell looking, Jim.
It is.
But where now this is just a drawing, right? This isn't like something they found.
Oh
out
no,
in
there's
the-
a guy standing right there. Look.
I was gonna make that fucking joke, Jim. Damn it.
It's Indiana Jones, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
not Indiana Jones. He's
No, that's
not
his.
real.
It's they got an
Guy that
H-1B visa,
inspired-
and that's Indian Jones.
Yeah,
He's,
he inspired Indiana Jones.
It's just Bangalore Jones.
yeah.
Bangalore Jones.
I'm here to do the needful.
That would be crazy if that was something in the wild, though.
It would be.
There is stuff like that in the wild. I mean, there's stuff all
That's-
over the world carved in the mountainsides like that.
Yeah, but yeah.
You never see Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, but it's not split down the middle so you can enter between the doorway, right?
Yeah, but you know, at Mount Rushmore, if you find a secret place and pour some water on it,
Yeah.
that the thing will open up, and then
Yeah.
you can find all the gold.
Yeah, then it will split open and you can really jam in.
Yeah,
there.
there's like the whole mythology about that shit, right?
I saw this documentary on it.
Do you believe
there
that
any-
there is anything built other than the actual Rushmore? Do you think they did something extra?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's where
definitely.
Richie Rich lives.
Yeah.
He's got
That's
a
where
laser.
the Team America World Police are. They come out and
Also Team America.
No, I'm
They-
actually asking a serious question. You think that
Oh.
the government did something different
sure,
in the background?
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
tons of dead Indian skeletons.
Yeah, they had to cover up the. That's what the whole thing was, to cover it up. What they found.
The
It was
massacre?
built by aliens, right?
Black Hills.
We couldn't possibly carve a mountain like that.
Why is it called the Black Hills? Them hills aren't black.
Hmm. You
But you look brown to me.
Take that.
Mhm.
Look more gray
could- what?
now. Think about that logically.
No,
Maybe.
All
I
right.
don't think so. I don't think so.
Why does Jim always? I mean, Dave always have to be the straight man on this show. He always has to just never go with it. Just makes no sense, man. Do you think we had the technology back in the turn of the century to build that?
Sure.
To build Mount Rushmore,
Yeah.
fucking dynamite and manpower. Sure, yeah, we had that fucking. It took them what 30 years to build the goddamn thing, Jim. They went through one designer and he died, and he left
Well,
the
you know what?
project, and they brought in another one.
If they hadn't done the Civil War, it went through a lot faster because we had people that would have done it for free.
It'd
Yeah,
still
but
be
they would have
building
done a
it.
shitty job. You know what they say? You get what you pay for.
Mhm.
And it's now that will be the question 2,500 years in the future, though, right, Cynic? Oh, they didn't have the technology in 1910
Yep.
to
I
build
don't,
that shit.
I don't. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that like soft, like sandstone or something like that? Like, isn't that like a
Where
like it's not
Rushmore
gonna?
is?
Yeah, it's not made. It's not like granite.
I don't know. They had to dynamite it out. It's not like they were chiseling it.
Well, they screwed up a phase 2, didn't they? And they had to
Mhm.
like blast it away and build another one.
Yeah, and start over.
I think you're right, Dave. In 500 years, there'll be whatever holographic videos about how aliens built Mount
once the
Rushmore.
solar flares get us and we reset and all of our
Well.
fucking technology is gone, they'll look at that mountain and go, "Wow, the West, they were so far advanced. Who are these fucking people on the
No, because it
mountain?"
won't look like that. It'll be all fucked up. So it'll be like if someone will say, "See, these were giant bodies that died, and that's left now."
You're still that, huh? You're
Yeah.
still bitter about that video that we watched.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Next, he's going to be talking
Ruby
about
says it's
moral
granite.
past-
Yeah, it's granite. Or Ruby says it's granite. Yeah.
Is it granite? Rose granite?
Oh, are you gonna go through levels of granite now, Jim?
I don't know.
You're going to go
Hey,
through them on the
I'll take it for
Mohs-Gardner
granted.
scale.
I knew that joke was coming.
Yep.
Yeah. The
Hey, listen,
Statue
I
of
didn't
Liberty,
call anybody a homos here. Hard scale.
She'll be the lady that we pray to for sexual
Well, she's made out of
conquest.
copper, so she's gonna just deteriorate.
Oh, when the world resets, yeah, she'll melt, right?
No,
Yeah.
just part of her face and part of her arm will be sticking out of the sand and be when the monkeys are running the world. I saw that movie.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
You damn dirty
You got
apes.
it. Aren't they coming out with a new Planet of the Apes this year?
Yeah, it's called Chicago.
Well, Jim now wins the award over from Dave. Okay.
What?
I give
How
it
about
up.
them Redskins?
Fuck.
Yeah. What? How about? I've heard that they want to.
Yeah, it's
Give
gonna
the
be
name
based
back,
on a
Julio.
city. That's what I thought. It was like based on a. It's like,
Oh, yeah. Planet of the Apes in Chicago.
yes.
Like it's, yeah.
Oh, is this your cover up, Jim? Okay.
No,
Uh,
I'm serious.
No,
It's
his
like
shirt's a cover up. You don't want to see those nipples. He's
Oh,
actually being serious.
I wasn't making it. Oh no, you guys. Oh, sorry,
you
you guys
disgust me,
misunderstood.
Dave.
It's going to be based in a city like Chicago. I'm saying
You
instead
do a
of-
crossover with.
That one was in
Black
San
Panther.
Francisco, and then the West Coast, and then it's moving into the Midwestern areas.
I heard they were going to do a crossover with the show Cops, filmed on location.
I'd watch that shit. Fuck yeah.
Oh wait, that movie came out this year. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Never saw it.
I
Never
heard it was
fucking
good
saw
though.
it. Did you?
Would you? Did
I-
you?
I didn't. I didn't like the trailer, so I wasn't going to watch it.
I heard all those Planet of the Apes movies are pretty good. I just don't. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, why? We
Sometimes
have
it's
like a million of them.
well, not only that, like the newer
The old
ones,
ones are
like
great.
there's really, it's really, they really make these fucking apes feel way too human, Mark. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
I
You guys
personally,
like to know why Easter is not what you think it is?
Wait, what?
oh, please tell me, Billy. Come on.
This is Billy Carson.
Oh,
come
my
on.
man. About could Easter be the
I think
celebration of
Billy
the
Carson
fertility
is
gods
Drex
known as Ishtar?
with a hat on.
Ishtar, Easter, kind of sound
See
familiar.
that?
We're going to dig deep into that. We're going to
Oh,
dig deep
boy.
into this topic and all the names of Ishtar known throughout the region over time. We're going to talk about Easter.
Ishtar,
We're gonna talk
la,
about the true
Ishtar,
meaning
Ishtar,
behind
Ishtar,
Easter,
la,
what
la,
it's really all
Ishtar.
about. And we're going to dig into some other things that go along
He's
with
gonna
this
make fun.
particular weekend, like the
And
crucifixion,
it's going to be fact, Jim.
Passover.
It's going to be fact.
You know, all those rituals that
He's very
go along
esoteric.
with this entire weekend, and what is it really all about?
Ruby, will you
Easter
click the link
connection.
so you can explain what he's
Okay.
saying to us? Because
First
I
of all,
don't
Easter
understand.
is a connection to the spring
Ruby won't
equinox.
understand.
I
It
need to cop that
originated as a
t-shirt.
pagan celebration
Pagan.
of the equinox.
Yes.
In
What?
pre-Christian times, let me say that again. In pre-Christian, in other words,
Sweet tooth.
before Christianity,
Yeah, I saw that.
the equinox was celebrated as one of the solstices that honored the goddess Easter or Esther, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And there's many names, variations, depending on the
There
Hey,
always
wasn't there a
is,
book of
Billy.
Esther in the
Yes.
Bible? It's like, or in the Talmud or something, or old, like the book of Esther. Wasn't she the one who was like the whore?
It was Aunt Esther. Book of Aunt Esther, I think it was.
Oh. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Oh.
the tongue and the region of the world that you're in. She was known as the goddess of the dawn and of the vernal equinox.
Vernal.
In German, she was known as Astara. So instead of Easter, it was Astara, the German tongue. We were talking about the same person. Okay. In Mesopotamia, known as Ishtar.
Ishtar.
In the Akkadian
Ishtar.
version, known as Inanna, same person. Same
In the
person,
Chicago
different
version,
tongues,
Shaquita.
but the same exact person.
Wasn't Ishtar a movie?
So it's pretty interesting.
Yes.
So you have this
Dustin Hoffman.
celebration of the vernal equinox. Now, what is the vernal equinox? So the vernal equinox is, so the earth is tilted on its axis, okay? And the
Mhm.
earth has
Alright.
a wobble.
And
Now,
when I
the
say the
wobble,
word
we get
ass,
different
I
seasons.
say
We-
axes.
Weebles
Wobble,
wobble,
baby,
and they
wobble,
don't fall
baby,
down.
wobble.
That's that's why the Weebles wobble and they don't fall down because it's on an axis.
We was wobbles.
Yes. We was wobbles. Yes. And they canged it down.
On its axes.
Yeah.
Are you trying to
Asked
ask
them a
me
question.
Good girl, won't you back it up? Won't you back it up?
I think he's.
Wobble,
Did you
baby,
guys?
wobble,
Did you guys
baby,
ever
wobble.
watch that show American Gods that was on Stars?
Yeah, I loved it. It was great. It's
I
fantastic.
think maybe he watched that show and that's where he came up with this stuff.
Yeah,
What is that
I
show
could do
about?
that.
It's about all
It's
these old gods and stuff and different things. It's actually really good. It's got Swearengen's in it. He plays Odin.
Yeah.
The All-Father.
Yeah, so it's about the old gods are passing away and new gods are taking their place, like the internet and
Yeah.
technology. and all that
Oh,
stuff.
It's
okay.
actually really good. Yeah.
It's really, really good.
And then it's
yeah.
got a black Jesus.
does have a black Jesus.
Yeah.
And a leprechaun.
Yeah. Leprechaun dude. The leprechaun dude is actually the guy. Holy fuck, it's that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
What's his name? The guy from
Face.
13 Hours. The
and he
guy
has
from
shoes on.
no, it's the Leprechaun is the guy from The Wire season 2. He's
I just knew him
Liv
as the,
Schreiber's brother. He's the Schreiber guy. That's also plays the Master Chief in Halo.
yeah, it's Master Chief in Halo, the guard in Orange is the New Black.
Yeah,
And he's a leprechaun?
he's a leprechaun in it. Yeah.
Yeah, don't you know?
Yeah, and he likes to get drunk and look
That
for his
show's
coin.
pretty old now, right?
Probably about 5 years old, I think.
That's
How many-
I don't. I think it's only
Was it-
had 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, I don't
It
think
was
they
pretty
finished it.
cool.
I
Yeah.
liked it.
And it had this crazy black lady god who would suck the life out of people by having sex with them.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Succubus.
Succubus.
Had this dude that was like vaping fish or something in one scene. It was weird.
Yeah, it was real
Was
weird.
it
Then it had this.
esoteric?
It was
Billy's
esoteric.
esoteric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Very
other.
esoteric.
There was other god that like smashed people with a hammer. It had the guy from Fargo, the crazy guy from Fargo.
Yeah.
It was also the devil in what's it called in Constantine, I think, right?
Yeah.
And as it spins on its axis, there is a point where you get to where the Earth's wobble almost
Wobble,
perfectly
baby, wobble. Baby.
is
Now it's stuck in
even
my head.
on the
Julio.
left
Thank
and the
you.
right. And as the sun shines on the Earth, you get two
Earth.
equal days. You get you get an equal day and equal night. Okay, that's what it is. You get an equal day and equal night. So the vernal equinox
Fuck
is
you, Jim.
depending on the Earth's tilt. As the Earth is spinning and it has its tilt, when it gets to a certain point, boom, which is
Boom.
when Easter is.
When he's
This is long
Oh,
before
yeah.
Christianity, by the way. This has been celebrated for a very, very long
Let
eons
me ask
before
you.
Christianity.
You heard about the Earth?
So
Wait,
they're
do you guys
celebrating
know Eon
the actual-
was the bird in the Rudolph's Shiny New Year that was trying to get the baby New Year? It was Eon.
Oh, I know a guy named Theon. He changes my tires.
Yeah, and
Same thing.
Theon Greyjoy
It's the same thing.
had his penis cut
Yeah.
off.
Okay,
By,
That's also the
Ramsey
same thing.
Bolton.
that makes sense. Ramsey Bolt.
vernal equinox, and they're celebrating new birth and regeneration. Okay,
The Ben
which is where
said, "Shut up,
Ishtar
he's
comes in.
speaking business."
So
I mean-
you can see now already the ground is being laid,
His
and
mic
for
is
sources
terrible.
like that,
What?
Dude, yes. The fucking civilization of man has known about there's an equal day twice a year, Jim. Just because some people celebrate it with a different name, just like he goes off on these weird ass tangents, Mark. You're like, is this really
No.
what you're talking about? Ishtar is Easter? Okay. All right, let's go, Billy. Convince me,
think-
bro.
Do you think that he does this because young people today don't have any of this knowledge? I mean, we were taught all this basic stuff. People aren't taught this
Yeah.
stuff anymore. So if somebody really young is watching this, they probably don't even know the Earth wobbles or turns or anything.
Dude, he's older than Jim.
Some people think that the moon doesn't spin.
You beat
I
me to
know,
it,
it's
Jim.
crazy,
They're
isn't it?
fucking
I mean, it's
insane. They're idiots.
What, the moon spinning?
Yeah.
What's up, Ruby?
That fucking thing don't spin. Are you out of your mind?
Moon spins.
We'll never know.
Mm.
We'll
Ruby-
never
Ruby,
know.
are you gonna translate for us?
I'll try my best.
Holy fuck!
Oof. What are
Hey,
you?
what's
What are you in a
that- what's that?
fucking dryer?
I mean, flush that toilet, dude. Jesus.
It's in the back of a cop car.
He's at the laundromat. What the hell?
Yeah, I've got some clothes washing right now. They're almost done.
Oh, okay.
Washing
Sounds better
big
now.
sheets for him.
Yeah, something like that.
Jesus.
He said the moon is older than Jim. No, that's not true.
No, Billy Carson's older than Jim, but it spins one time per rotation.
Yeah. Storm gets it.
that you need to look no other place other
many
than.
flat
and I'll
earthers
give you
are in
some
the
sources
chat?
right quick. Let me take a pause.
If you're a
and just give
flat
you couple
earther,
sources real
thumbs
quick.
up.
So you can go just and find
I'm
out
a,
exactly what I'm
oval
talking
earth.
about. If you don't believe what I just said,
I'm a believer in the fat Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone keeps getting fatter and fatter, especially the women, and
Yeah.
it needs to
Is that
stop.
why they call it the growing Earth?
Yes,
Expanding
why
Earth,
the
I'm
planet-
sorry?
Fat.
That's why
that's
the planet
expanding. All
wobbles.
right, body BMI, body count, and BMI keeps expanding.
Earth isn't real.
Earth.
Dude, I just watched a Twilight Zone about that today. Like
What,
the
fat
whole
chicks?
thing was like, the episode is about, hey, imagine that
Spirit
you
card.
think you're alive, and then you look at your life and you go, what did I ever do to deserve my life? This ain't real. None of this is real. Nothing around us is real. It's all fake. I'm like, God damn, this is 1960s shit, Mark. Like, and Rob Serling writing this shit and put it on screen. So good.
Where are you watching Twilight Zone? On Tubi?
On Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they got all the episodes there. It's funny too. Like season 1 is like there's 38 episodes, Jim, in season 1. And I think in season 2 there's 34. But in season 1, there are so many of the episodes that we remember. Like, you know, the library, you know, where
Right.
he finally gets to read his fucking books. That's in season 1.
Yeah.
And so many other good ones, and you're just like, oh. But then you're in season 2, and it's like they're even better. But we don't talk about those, I guess, because I don't know. We just get stuck on the ones we really remember. But yeah, I've been watching that for the holiday.
Is the William Shatner one in season 1 where he's on the plane?
Not the
Brent went on the
plane,
wing?
the one in the diner, though, when he's playing that fucking little machine and it's telling him what to do,
I thought that was a movie where he was on the plane. Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah, they redid the original
Yeah.
episode for the movie.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the one where he's in the diner and he won't make a move without the machine telling him to do it, that one's pretty good too. But his wife convinced him, we got to go. And of course, somebody else sits at the table, and that guy ain't leaving. So it was pretty good. Let's get back to Billy, Jim. Nobody cares about 1960s Twilight Zone.
Okay. You can go
Be right
to
back.
the Encyclopedia Britannica and the Encyclopedia of Religion. You can go to the Theoi Greek mythology book, and you can also go into most religious texts. I want you to research what I say, period. Okay. And so the vernal equinox. Now, that's where the beginning of this whole ritual, and I do mean ritual, begins. And so there's a ritual that's going on with this renewal of life, and also with what they really want. The main goal behind all of this is having the ability to reproduce. They want to reproduce. They want to bring a lot of people onto this planet in a very short period of time. That was the original origin of this. If you go into the Sumerian tablets, you begin to find out that there was a situation where they wanted more people, more of us on this planet. Why? Because they wanted us to do more work. There wasn't enough of us. They wanted to expand around the entire planet. They wanted to build civilizations all throughout, and they wanted us to be able to do the work. They wanted to be able to cultivate specific people that can learn trades within, whether it's the waterways, the water systems, whether it's learning how to, dig out moats or construct temples and buildings, make bridges.
You guys notice that he doesn't have any bottom eyelids?
I try not to look him directly in the eyes.
That is weird.
I normally don't look black people in the eyes, and I always keep my wallet in my front pocket.
You're a smart man.
It's just a rule,
Yeah,
My granddaddy taught me that.
Good. Your granddaddy was a very smart individual. I don't trust
dig
these
out
fools.
canals. There was various labor jobs that they had for everything you would need to build an entire civilization, right? Irrigation
Fatty.
fields, farming, all of that was a lot of work. And they wanted more people to help do it. We're talking about a time period from very, very far back, extremely
No
far
way.
back time period, because we're talking about an
wear
era
makeup?
of time when
Yeah, it
Ishtar,
looks like he has
aka
eyeliner
Nana,
on.
Right?
AKA
Like
Egypt,
Egyptian drawn in
was
fruity
actually
eyeliner or something?
in a relationship
Ruby, you
with a
can
guy
say
named
it. You're
Dumuzi,
allowed to say
the
it.
shepherd Dumuzi. Now, the shepherd Dumuzi,
He is a
you can find him in the
fruity-ass
Sumerian kings
ninja.
list. So we're talking about
You disgust
pre-flood.
me.
And more evidence that this is pre-flood is because she's
I like
also
how
in
he
the Epic
says
of Gilgamesh.
this is really
before Noah
old, but
builds the
doesn't
ark.
give us a fucking date. Doesn't tell us a year, anything. This is just really old. Okay.
But what
says
you're
when he
missing,
blinks.
Dave, is that you're white. You don't understand this thing, all right? 200 years of slavery has bound us.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Okay, so-
400 years.
See, that's what you're getting it wrong. It was 200 years, okay?
6 million years.
It was
There
long
you go,
enough.
6 million.
Yeah.
It was too long, Jim. Either
Yeah,
way.
Too long. Too
Has it really
long.
ended? Because they got people working for minimum wage. All
Yeah,
right.
they've got white people as slaves now. That's all they
My
do.
Right.
daddy was a slave.
You're what?
System. My daddy was a slave. Oh, you finally caught on. Huh?
Oh, look at this sad N word.
And Noah in there is known as Zildjian or
You think his
Unapishtim.
wife gets tired of
So,
hearing all this
depending on
shit?
Akkadian or Babylonian, with everyone you're reading, right?
You-
So this
you
is
think-
before the ark was
You
built.
think he's married?
So we're talking
Yeah.
pre-flood.
That's one of the first things I noticed is the ring on his
Antediluvial, not
finger.
post-diluvial.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
ring on his
oh,
finger?
Lord. Mrs. Carson is not
Yeah,
having
you
a
did-
good time.
He ain't
Oh,
faithful.
you
though.
want to see what Mrs.
He
Carson
hates
looks like?
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Like,
this
Tell me
guy
she's
looks like
white.
Billy,
has a-
shut your shit up. All
He
you ever
does
do
have a
is talk that
very
nonsense.
sterile.
Why
you
talk about Yakub again? Motherfucker, get your ass in there and do the
Can I
dishes,
ask,
bitch.
why is he surrounded by whiteness?
I
He's
be
in a
wobbling
hotel.
for you.
Oh god damn!
Wait, what?
Jesus
Holy
Christ.
shit!
Well, all right. Wait a
Mm.
minute.
That's what
Something ain't
happens when you
right.
graduate from MIT.
God
Damn.
damn. Well, all right then.
Well, Pearl will do a picture.
Oh, a hero, a Barry
with-
Carson.
Yeah, we'll see a picture of
It's like-
Pearl to show this woman. Yeah.
Oh, the Earth to
I like her
wobble.
dress.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, Barry. I rub
Oh.
your taker on
He
the
looks like
earth.
P. Diddy a little bit here, doesn't he? Like,
Check her out. God
He looks
damn.
like
All
that
right.
guy that committed a terrorist act. If you look at
Hmm.
in
I
life.
rubber your YouTube content. They're good.
Your YouTube is so good.
Gong sound effect.
Fuck you, Billy, and your hot wife.
Oh, I'm gonna get kicked out.
Wait a second. This picture is AI. That's what the Bent says. All right, now I've got to do. Pull that up, Jamie.
This is this is in Billy's living room.
oh,
You know,
you know
people
where,
hanging out, checking out
Uh,
do you know where
He
Billy
found this.
lives?
yeah, he's checking it out.
Monroeville, Alabama.
Yep.
Wait. So this
Right.
guy's rich.
but then he's definitely not married to her.
Oh, he's loaded, man.
Oh, he's loaded. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
Did you
who
see
this
his
guy
wife?
is.
Can't roll with a Chinese woman if you don't got money.
Well,
Spend you into the ground.
well, it depends on if you paid for her to get here.
I don't think she's Chinese. She looks more like maybe Filipino or
That's what I was thinking.
Thai,
Ballpark.
something like
Hi,
that.
lady
you know,
boy.
something maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
it's true.
So that picture you showed, Jim, is cool, but they have another one with her ugly ass arm tattoo. Oh my
Oh,
god.
Well, I don't.
See, if
know.
I was rich, I wouldn't have that in my house. I would have like a T-Rex skeleton or something. I'm just saying.
Me too.
Fuck pharaohs.
They take up too much space.
So, like, you guys think, like, look, you know, like everything repeats. Like, see, like this was actually the RoboCop head, and this was actually this. See? It's all interconnected.
We've been here millions of years. We've been here millions of years. According to the ancient Sumerians, in their account, which is written in the Enuma Elish and the 7 tablets of creation,
Oh, we
and
was
the
King
Atrahasis
Records.
epic, there was a planet named Tiwar.
Anunnaki made this beat.
I'm saying, man. See?
I don't know, man. My eyes are now open to this shit now. Man. I'm learning.
It started with some kind of comet impact, probably a fragment of a comet going around the sun, comes out of the sun, starts to break up, goes into the Earth's atmosphere, breaks up even further into hundreds, if not thousands,
Billy
of
Carson lives
pieces
in Fort
that burn
Lauderdale.
up, creating these air blasts that actually settle
Wow,
out
look at that.
large
Actually.
waves of biomass.
My
in
people
the,
built that.
in the,
If he
the
lived in
northern
Alabama, I was
hemisphere
going to go to his
from
warehouse.
North America all the way across to the Middle East. In
Wow.
fact,
It's not far from you, I don't think.
the closest one to Göbekli Tepe was about 150 miles away.
Tuppy?
A site called Abu Hurayra, which is on the Euphrates. So, you know, all of this was going on. So peoples were coming down into Anatolia and settling. We also know that peoples from Siberia and Mongolia were reaching the area of Anatolia as early as 11,000 BC, and they were going there regularly.
Wow.
Oi,
cool.
mate.
Anatolia?
Yeah, it's like the area. It's Turkey area.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. Look at we got all these things. They're same stuff. You know, Japan, Utah. See,
What are that, Nephilims? Fallen angels?
12
Something.
years. 12. Somebody said Captain Bithos in 12 years in Anunnaki.
you know, Utah, Azerbaijan,
That
Japan.
has a penis.
Yeah, they do.
That's a
I'm
huge
saying.
dick, yeah.
I'm saying they drew these pictures, man. They're all the same with these things, man.
She, Billy Carson's wife's not as hot as that picture. When you look at
No.
her on Instagram, she's
Yeah, I
like
saw her. Yeah.
really like squat Filipino looking lady.
So wait,
Okay.
what does he do for a living?
This.
He's a fucking
This?
grifter. He grifts people like Jim out of their money.
And he made
I
millions
don't know,
of
dude. At least he's
dollars?
got the education.
He's got a whole network called Forbidden Knowledge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
He's got
okay.
a show. You ever heard of a station called Gaia?
Isn't
Does
he
he
also?
own Gaia?
I think he might.
Doesn't he also?
Oh, okay, now I've got
Teach?
it.
Wait, on radio? SF radio?
No, Gaia is like a streaming platform for conspiracy theory stuff. I used to
Really?
watch it until I met Jim, and I was like, why do I need to pay for this anymore? I've got Jim.
Oh, my tacos are on the way.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Nah, not tacos.
What does the 1111 stand for on his shirt? Do you know?
11/11?
November 11th.
Established.
11/11/2017.
Yeah, it was established 11/11/2017. So
Oh, I got it.
Forbidden
That's when he
knowledge.
became esoteric.
That's when he created forbidden knowledge.
I thought that's when he showed up for his job that started at 11 o'clock.
Man, maybe I
It
need
was
to
so
fucking-
he could remember it.
I need to find a nice script like that to get me rich, man. I'm just thinking about
Forrest
pimping
Pump's got it
hoes.
right. He
Hey,
talks
right,
about his
Ruby.
nephew Illums.
Nepulums.
Ruby, don't forget he went to I think Harvard or something like that, and then went
This
to
motherfucker went to
MIT
Harvard
and
and
MIT.
MIT?
Yeah, he has degrees from both places.
Oh, his mama must
He
be
went there
proud.
at both of them on the same day. They're
Yep.
close to each other.
And how old is he?
51.
Oh, he's an old timer.
So wait, this dude went to MIT and Harvard and then founded the Anomaly Hunters.
Yeah, he's
That's
him
what
and
they call a
what's his
smart-ass
face? Lex
nigga.
Friedman.
Lex
Lex
Friedman.
Friedman?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're MIT alumnus.
Yeah.
Well, Lex Friedman's a. Never mind. I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
He's a Russian.
I just want to stop pimping
Yeah,
hoes,
it's a
man.
Russian.
I want to do what he's
That's
doing,
his
man.
lineage.
I think
You
he's
got to go.
a-
What you
a
do is you
Russian
go rent a
Jew, right?
hotel room like he is and watch. He's
Yes.
watching Netflix in a hotel room.
isn't he?
He's only been featured on Gaia. He didn't own anything. He didn't own any part of it.
So he sell books and seminars and shit like
Yeah,
that.
he hustles. He hustles black folks with the We Was Kangs.
Oh,
Actually, no, he's not. No, he's not like that.
Oh, he's not like that.
No, he can read the Sanskrit and the Sumerian
He can read. He
uniform
can read every
tablets.
text ever written.
And
Yeah.
he just says that how there was this here he knows that there was this group of people that came to the earth like 250,000 years ago or something to get gold, and that's why he likes gold. And
You know, that was the plot of Cowboys versus Aliens, man. Aliens was getting the gold, and the Cowboys was fighting them. I'm serious.
I love
real
Ruby.
shit.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at this dude has spent all this money and all this time, and you just dunked on him with Cowboys versus Aliens.
I didn't mean to dunk on him. I just thought of Cowboys versus Aliens.
well, that movie probably copied off of him.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I'm looking at his Instagram.
Like
and
if
he
you
does
go
a-
to Cowboys versus Aliens, Cowboys that movie, and it'll have a thank you to Billy Carson at the end.
I'm looking at his
Damn,
Instagram.
Right next
He
to
does a
right
lot
next
of-
to Ethan Van Sciver.
Jesus Christ.
And Matt Barr.
Wow.
And Matt
Yeah.
Barr, yeah. Big
Yeah.
three or whatever.
Gotta give him his props too.
Yeah.
So, does he teach at a university too, though, Jim? I thought
Not that
one
I
of them
just read
did that
his
we
bio.
talked to. Oh, it's our weather guy, our solar
University
floor guy.
Park.
Yeah. No, our solar floor guy. He teaches, right?
Well, he writes textbooks.
My uncle teaches, or did before he died.
Hmm.
LSU.
Those
What
kids
a
are still
calendar.
learning about the
Jesus.
same. Yeah. He read one too many Marvel comics. Ugh.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia. It's something. I'll tell you that.
It's what?
He's got a lot of angles going.
Yeah,
Does
check
he?
his
He
early
started-
history.
No, there's no early, well, there is early life, but yeah, he became an entrepreneur at the age of 16.
Yeah, selling
And-
We Was Aliens to black folk. You go look at his Instagram. He that's what he does. That's how he's making all of his money.
And he ain't nothing special. I became an entrepreneur at 16 selling crack. So, ain't
I
shit.
became an entrepreneur at 21.
More evidence to how old this ritual is and how far back it goes. And it's been associated with a lot of fertility symbols. Okay, a lot of fertility symbols, and I'm going to read some of these to you. And a lot of these fertility information comes
now. Why is
directly
this
from
camera
the
shaking? Is there an
tablets.
earthquake going on?
So let's see if we can get into
the
some
wobble.
of these fertility symbols.
Wobble,
It's connected
baby,
to his
wobble, baby,
laptop,
wobble,
dude.
baby.
Fertility symbols and
It's his
spring
laptop,
celebrations have deep
computer,
roots in
or
ancient
camera.
traditions, including those from Babylon, and have evolved or been
I thought you had a
assimilated
fucking studio.
into various cultural religions.
He's in a
and
hotel,
celebrations,
obviously.
including Easter. Here's a look at some of these symbols and practices, drawing connections that definitely exist. Fertility symbols and practices. Often see the lion
He's getting
associated.
beamed up. He has
The lion is
nervous
associated and symbolizes
You
strength,
think he's
power,
in a
and fertility.
hotel?
And then, of course, you see sometimes
Yeah, I
the
think he's in a
eight-pointed
hotel.
star. This symbol represents
Billy
Ishtar
Carson's suing a
and the
person he
Venus.
lost a debate to.
Yeah, you see, it's like the wet bar area, the hotel
Yeah,
here.
he's
Here's
in a hotel.
Netflix. He's in a hotel.
Yeah.
It's like a suite in a hotel suite.
Billy Carson lost a debate. Now he's suing the guy.
Something like that. I don't know.
Really? Amazing.
What?
Jim's never gonna let us watch that though.
Sure, you can watch it if you want. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I like to laugh at stuff. I don't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Billy Carson. How could he lose a debate? He's got all the facts.
Sweet dude says only idiots stream from hotels.
Well,
What a dick.
the chat says it. I won't stream from hotels anymore. I'll be on the road a lot this year.
So the eight-pointed star is a representation of Venus. And why Venus? Because if you Google this too, you'll find out that
It's
Venus
very close to
actually
penis.
owned, and I do mean owned, by
No.
Ishtar, aka Inanna. Yes,
Nano.
these people,
They
they
own-
owned planets, they owned moons,
AKA.
Uh-huh.
they even owned entire constellations, depending on how powerful they were within their number. They had a numerical ranking.
Oh, is that why?
And
What if that's why they
I
say
wanna
that
own a planet.
women are from Venus because it was owned by the fertility god Ishtar?
Yeah.
Whose fucking property rights am I going against when I name my own star? Shit.
Yeah, you're fucked up, dude. You're gonna get taken to space civil right or space civil court.
State small claims court? Or,
No,
don't know.
that's full-fledged civil. That's over 10 grand.
Oh, I don't pay 10 grand to name a star. You fucking crazy?
It's worth that though.
Owned
So they're not gonna
Venus.
take you to
according to the
small
Sumerian
world.
tablets, not according to Billy Carson. Okay, and so that's the eight-pointed star. Of
But-
course, then you have
It's written down
the fact
somewhere
that
that these
the symbol,
cultures own fucking
represents
constellations.
Ishtar and Venus
Yeah,
star,
we was-
reflecting her
we was
aspects
aliens.
as a goddess of fertility,
Ah!
love,
Oh.
sex, and war.
What's up, Ruby?
Love, sex, and
Nobody
war.
wants to see you eat
So we're
tacos,
talking
Ruby.
about
Stop
I
it.
want to see it.
revering someone
Kevin wants
that
to
was
see it.
about fertility, love, sex, and also war, which means that includes killing people.
Billy Carson never looked so
It means
good.
killing people. Now, the eggs and the rabbits, where'd that come from? So they were more commonly associated with Easter eggs and rabbits as a symbol of fertility, because rabbits reproduce extremely fast, and eggs represent, for example, this now right here is time for birds to mate and
Come on,
lay
hurry up
their
with the
eggs.
fucking
So
tacos,
it's just
dude.
representing fertility and
You're,
representing
like,
new
really
life is on the
fucking
way,
prepping that
and it
damn
represents
thing.
that life is coming in a very short period of time.
Shove
because
that bitch in
a
your
lot of
mouth
these
already.
eggs from birds in the spring, they
Ooh,
hatch
look at
extremely
that.
quick because they have to hatch before the winter. You can't hatch eggs in the winter. Although you
Wow.
should, some probably get left behind or
delicious.
maybe eaten, but they try to get these eggs to hatch
He
prior to the winter.
froze up.
And so,
You can't hatch
the reason why
eggs in
these
the
birds
winter?
they got to develop, they got to fly
Yes,
and
you
everything
can.
before.
What the
that
fuck
winter,
is he
before that hawk
talking
gets here,
about?
in most cases. Now, if you look at this, the direct association with Ishtar has been
No, he said he doesn't eat hash and eggs in the winter because he
That's
likes
not
it
what he
hot
said.
and it cold.
It's not what he said, Jim.
Oh, guys, I found the debate that he lost.
You want to watch it? We can watch it.
Yeah, let's pull that up. Fucking white people.
Great.
Picking
Now
on
I'll
the
never
black
know
people.
about Easter.
Ruby's making me
You,
hungry.
you know your meeting.
I've got a block on my YouTube where I don't watch any N-words. It's a special plug-in.
Yeah.
I don't watch any niggas either, man.
Oh, he said
They don't
it.
deserve my
Whoa.
rules. They don't deserve my views.
Oh no, he got beat by a white dude.
Not even Fatal J.
Disgraceful.
Wait,
Disgraceful.
right?
Not Fatal J.
Wait, I see two white dudes. What's going on here?
One's a moderator.
What's his lover?
Well, that's not fair. Two white dudes against one black dude.
Well, Billy Carson's got a longer thigh bone.
Oh, what does that mean?
Yes.
Means you kick him in the shins if you have to fight.
Why
that
does
the
the
rule?
guy on the right look
Isn't
like
it?
one of Hitler's dream children?
I was thinking
I know,
the
he
same
does.
thing, Dave.
Yeah.
Like Hitler would be like, "Oh,
Fucking Drago.
Scheiße."
He's like young
Yeah.
Drago.
Wunderbar.
That's an SS
Whatever.
guy right there, baby.
Captain Destroyer. Scheiße. 2 against 3 fists.
If he speaks German, I'm going to laugh my ass off.
God
Fucking
damn it,
amazing.
Kevin. Kevin wins it. Funniest chat of the night. I burnt my fucking finger when I read that. Oh,
All right. So they have a big ass computer pulled up. So they got all their answers beforehand. Oh boy.
no, it's
Let's-
so he can see the white.
All right, what's
the
up,
white dude.
everyone? And I'm trying to move this stuff.
Oh,
I'm
wunderbar.
thinking the guy on the right is the one he's debating.
Yeah,
The guy in the middle is the moderator. Okay.
Yeah.
He lost to a Yahtzee. Oh my god.
or at least a.
And yeah,
dream.
they'll do an awesome job editing this intro to make it way more fancy than this. But I'm here with my good man,
Is he mewing?
Billy Carson,
My good man.
who I've known Billy personally for
It's Black
some
Friend.
years now.
Let's
Solid
we all got
friend,
one,
great
bro.
character, businessman.
That's true.
He's been on Elevating Beyond last time, sharing your whole story behind the story. And what you hugely specialize in
that
as
fast
well,
enough?
you just came back from
did-
Egypt, is like the
It's-
emerald tablets.
I would
You've been
go
studying
up
those since what you were
to,
like, 6 or
like
something?
1.3.
No, not the Emerald Tablets.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, the Emerald Tablets I've been
There you
studying
go.
for the last probably 10 years.
Okay.
But since I was 6, I was studying
All
aerospace.
right, that's not fast enough. Go to
technology,
1.35.
which then led me
That's
into
gonna be.
understanding
He
more
was
about advanced
studying
technology.
aerospace at 6 years old, guys.
Yeah, so was Cat
Really?
Yeah,
Williams.
he
if
looked
you
up at the
remember.
sky and saw there was
He
air
saw a
up there.
fucking
Space.
airplane. Oh
Cat
boy.
Williams had read like 1,000 books by the time he was 9. So what? It's no big deal for black folks.
V-Bet.
heard
Billy
Nigga
Carson is Johnny Carson's illegitimate son, who,
Hi-yo.
Allegedly
with
factual.
Diane Summers.
Diane Summers. Is that
Donna.
Donna's sister.
Donna's sister, Diane.
Oh. Okay.
And then finding the link between advanced technology and ancient civilizations.
There we go.
And going on really a 25-year, or 27-year now, goodness, trek around the world. Been around the world now over 18 times.
Wait,
Last
he's
year spent
been
9
walking
months
for
in hotels,
27 years?
remember.
as you know.
Yeah.
You
Fucking
were my
Forrest
witness.
Gump.
Leaving
You
this
gotta
big old
see
mansion
his
behind and
feet.
not going home at all.
Ashy.
And,
Travel grind.
traveling nonstop. So
He's been around the world 18 times. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
And oh, that was weird. I just heard a little.
I wonder if these countries are
Wes,
sick of seeing
Wes,
his
you there?
dumbass.
Exclusively on hot air balloon. That's the weirdest part.
His mom told him
Be too
that his
easy if it
dad
works
was an
perfect, right?
astronaut.
Yeah, no. What is it called? What is that?
Why does that
I-
dude have a
this
lady
is through,
silhouette when he leaves?
Because the lady.
Well, it's through.
Maybe
it
he's-
actually
His
works
dad
great.
was an astronaut.
Was there something going
Yeah,
on?
Dad went to the moon to get some cigarettes and never came back. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out
Fuck
what's the
happened.
name of this thing you're using, this portal.
it's I want to actually press. It's I think it's all through Ecamm.
Ecamm. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so they have their own link in it.
Nice.
You can set
Ecamm.
this up for different guests. You can
Yeah, yeah.
make. When Carl was here through like Eric Thomas, we're just doing the show, waiting for him to call back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he helped get some of these free things going, but you can get way more fancy if you got someone that.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
All
is
right, get his ass
so
on
I
the
would say
screen.
the leaf. We got Wes on.
Hello, hello.
Wes, we got you back on. So I'll introduce Wes too, but yeah, what I was just saying real quick, Billy, too, is I also
Does
a
it mean-
shared
or does he have
belief
the
I think
Brigham
too
Fifty
with
eyes?
you with God is I also believe I don't believe I know God is within me too.
Mhm.
It's just and I don't believe that it's like you have to do 20 circles in the sand and
Right.
like do a ritual to that was through like my connection with Jesus where I know throughout my life that's been my when things are tough it's like
What the fuck is he
strength of
talking
God
about?
is
20
literally
circles in the
within-
sand.
Right.
as so like
I don't
where
know.
we do agree on where like a lot of the heresies and stuff
Seances, I guess. I don't know.
through over religious practices would be like, no, you have to come through the head of this church to be
Yeah.
blah blah blah, you know.
Right. Right.
And personally, and we're about to get Wes on, so we can have two really smart people in this talking about it. But I'm just breaking it down to my level
Who would
of
that
my
be?
understanding.
'Cause you're the moderator.
That's been what really drew me in, is kind of when Jesus came and flipped all that on its head and was like, no, we're not. What was it, like the Pharisees? Like, what were the hype? He's like, we're not having to go through all the rules. He's like, they're actually worse than
This
seat
guy's
right
supposed to
here.
be the host
and really look
of
at
the
what was in
debate?
people's hearts, you know.
Right.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. I know
shut
it
the
has
fuck
been
up.
for my life.
Yeah.
But I'm about
Move it on.
Wes, now that we got
I
you
love
on,
Julia.
Wesley Huff, historian, linguist, biblical scholar, PhD, and athlete wannabe. I like how you threw that in the bio right there.
Anyway.
And Wesley, my man, I think it would be
Hitler's wet
great.
dream. They
to-
wouldn't. They wouldn't.
I know
read
you guys
that
are
out,
both
but that was in his
recently
bio
in
too.
Egypt. There's tons that I'm interested in that. How all these things show up in Egypt is baffling to me. But just going right to it, I had here, Billy, you talk about how Jesus was never crucified, which is interesting because my wife, who's a Muslim, they believe that as well. Their beliefs, from what I understand from her, are they don't think that Jesus, as they believe is a prophet, God would have him killed. But I don't think they have any historical evidence, as far as I know, as to what or how or why they believe that. I'm curious for you guys both, and if you want to, I guess, go first, Billy, as to how you came about like the findings where it seems that Jesus was not crucified, or that's not accurate.
Sure. And in my videos, and if you listen to the podcast, the statement is according to the Sinai Bible. Okay, according to the Sinai Bible.
Oh my God.
It's amazing that people like this exist.
It's
And I'm thankful.
I'm not.
You're not, Ruby.
Jesus wasn't crucified. That Bible. That Bible predates the King James version of the Bible. And the text there actually is about 12 to 14,000 differences between the Sinai Bible and the King James version of the Bible, which came much later. And then also one of the things that were interesting is that they discovered the book of Jesus' wife, which is at the Harvard Seminary, which according to some scholars, that's a little controversial, but they claim that this is an accurate record that Jesus may have even been married, which then,
she's
adds
married to a
more,
Filipino.
It adds
Yeah.
more to the
Like any
hypothesis that
normal Jewish
maybe
man.
he wasn't crucified. I just personally believe that Jesus was an amazing human being. I don't think that he was the son of God in the sense that he's God, but that we're all gods, as he said, ye are gods, and that we're to do greater things in him. And I just personally believe that the return of the Christ is the return of the Christ consciousness. When we can all achieve a certain level of knowledge, wisdom, passion, understanding, empathy, love that he came to this planet with, and we get that in our mind and our conscience, and we can act on those incredible emotions and that understanding, that the whole world's going to transform
I
instantaneously.
appreciate his
And I think
passion.
the second coming is the coming of the Christ consciousness to the planet, not a human being.
Yeah, but I don't
flying back to
appreciate his
Earth to save
bullshit.
people.
Yeah,
This is my
I think he's just got all this shit on a cassette tape in his brain because it's always the same shit over.
personal understanding of how I perceived it over many, many years of going through this information and going through all this
Over.
text.
And Wes, I'm gonna let you respond to that. And again, I mean, this is everyone listening to the show. You know, I'm always like, challenge everything. Learn to critically think and
Wait, he
continue
stole
to come
that.
to your conclusions.
He
Even
stole
with,
it
with
from a
Jesus, I'm
video
not
game.
personally even waiting on that he has to come back to. I already know I'm, like I said, that strength of God and consciousness is already. I can tap into that right now. So you don't have to wait for him to come back. For those that believe he does, to actually have that like next level of what that's supposed to mean. But Wes, go ahead.
Shut up and let
on-
Wes answer, bitch.
or
Right.
what he's talking about, I think with a book in the Harvard Museum, and I heard something about Jesus.
If he speaks German, I'm going to fall out.
Oh, if he's got a yeah.
Yeah, well, first let me say I think it's really cool to not just be in the room
Little let
proverbially with you, Billy, but be able to interact with you. Because I wish I could be there in person. Unfortunately, Toronto, Canada, is a long way away from Florida. You seem to have investigated to a certain degree some of these facts. Do you mind if I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
Oh,
when you say the
wait,
Sinai
hold on.
Bible, what are you referring to specifically?
It's the biblical text written that made it into you can actually look it up on Amazon. It's a Bible called, I have a version at home. It's called the Sinai Bible, right, from Mount Sinai. I'm assuming it's the mountain that they're referencing there. But they put together their own version of the biblical text prior to the King James version.
You can look it up on Amazon. Oh my God.
Oh, so you get everything from Amazon, don't you?
A.
Okay, bud.
Was it written by Doug
Oh,
and
yeah.
Tom McKenzie? Oh my
It was written
God.
by Doug Cyanide.
Oh, take off, Billy. A.
Being put out.
Sure.
We got
So,
a regular N-word
when
and a
you
maple syrup.
refer to the Sinai
N-word.
Bible, would you be
It's a
referring to
maple
Codex
syrup.
Sinaiticus, like the codex that comes? Okay, that's why I was trying to get some clarification, because so you can actually go and see Codex Sinaiticus is at the British Library, so you can go and see it. It's on display, and the British Library has actually digitized the entire manuscript.
What a
So
disappointment.
I work with manuscripts in my linguistic work. I'm an expert on early Christian scribal culture, and particularly in Greek and Coptic manuscripts. I
Oh
actually
my
have,
God, what a fucking thing to say.
I have a facsimile. So I have a photocopy that was done by the British Library of Codex Sinaiticus that I work
It's
with
like
in
a
my
kids
office.
in the hall
So I have it
skit.
here. And the only reason I asked for clarification is because I want to make sure that what I'm addressing is actually what you mean, and not addressing something else. Because the Codex Sinaiticus in particular is just a Greek, it's a 4th century Greek manuscript. It comes from approximately between 325 and 350 AD. And its text of the Gospels reads almost identical to the modern Greek text that we develop translations from.
Ooh.
So my curiosity is just simply in kind of exploring, when you say that it denies the crucifixion or that the crucifixion isn't there, I mean, I can go on right now, Codex Sinaiticus, and I can look up the end of, say Matthew 27, where it has Jesus being crucified. And that's in Codex Sinaiticus, or, the John 19, or any of the other ones. So
facts.
Oh,
I
Billy.
think my
actual facts.
My
He's got to Google
confusion is that it doesn't read any differently. So actually, are you able to pull up a website with the viewers or listeners or whatever be able to see that?
The version that I'm looking at. While he's pulling that up too. Like I keep saying to all the people that aren't,
he's got to pull it up.
scientists traveling
And
the
this
world,
guy
and
named the
linguists, I don't even know how to
fucking.
pronounce it the right way. Like
Yeah,
me.
the guy on the right knows what he's
Sinai,
talking
I keep
about.
thinking of Sinai.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Sinai Bible. So
Right.
is that like a version? So from my own knowledge that I know, like when I really studied all this, what I thought was interesting about the Bible was how many like different eyewitness. I studied C.S. Lewis back in the day, how many different eyewitnesses and stuff there were. And they went on purpose to mention so many other names that they were able to like cross-reference throughout history
C.S.
and throughout
Lewis.
those times.
Yeah, I mean, he was a
from my
proponent of
understanding,
Christian
and those
writing,
were different
but-
things that I always thought
Yeah.
were
He was
kind of
just a writer.
interesting that
Yeah.
I felt was a good concept of proof. And then I want Billy to answer, and
Although the
also
Screw Tape Letters is
I'm just curious, like the Sinai Bible, is that was
Love
that
it.
where was
Great
that
book.
piece
I found the
discovered?
text where I was referencing. Actually, I was misquoted. I misquoted there. It's the Gospel of Barnabas.
Okay, yeah. Well, so that's good. So let's deal with that too, because
He's
I've
like,
actually
yeah, all right,
there are
whatever.
two manuscripts of
Anyway.
the Gospel of Barnabas. The Gospel of Barnabas is a really interesting document because it is a known forgery, and so that's why I think it's important to look to these sources. So
Oh
the
my
very
God.
start of the Gospel of
Two in
Barnabas,
a row.
Billy,
one is in
Look
Italian,
at-
one is in
look,
Spanish.
I ain't never seen a black
we see
man
right
so
off the
pale.
bat that the Gospel of Barnabas, one of the either the Epistle of Barnabas or the Acts of Barnabas, which are
Ruby,
two apocryphal
that's
documents.
why
And
he's
the
suing
second
the white
entry,
boy.
the
He
Gospel of
just
Barnabas
made
Better
him
than-
dumb.
we
better
know it's
than
a
Spencer
forgery
Rattler.
because it does things like in chapter 92, it says that Jesus spent 40 days on Mount Sinai, and then he came to the Jordan River and he walked to Jerusalem. But Mount Sinai is more than a week's journey away from Jerusalem, and neither Mount Sinai nor Jerusalem are close to the Jordan River. So never mind there
Put a yarmulke on
being a
this
route
guy,
from the
kind
Jordan
of
River
looked like Ben
to,
Shapiro with
like,
his voice
around Mount
Well, we
Sinai
got
or going
fed
to
up,
Jerusalem.
too.
But
I
there are
am
two
forgetting
big
he's a
problems
Canadian.
with
Cracker shit.
the Gospel of Barnabas, which indicate that
Right.
it shows no actual indication of
Fucking white
Ruby, you know
devils.
not to
coming
debate with
from
a
or even
learned
having
man,
knowledge
well,
of
boy.
first century Jewish
I'm not
understanding.
gonna,
It actually says Jesus
hold on.
is the Christ, but not the Messiah, which
I'm
indicates
not-
that whoever the
The
author
Gospel of Barnabas is actually it's a Muslim text. So I you know what I mean? I don't know. He's saying it's a forgery. It's
It's a fraud.
well,
Technology.
it's
I don't know.
Technology.
The guy on the
It's-
right seems to know what he's talking about. I don't know.
well, I'm looking at the
I'm
You're
blaming
looking at the
racism.
Gospel of Barnaby Jones, Jim. Come on.
I mean, what are you
author is
trying
know
to
that those are
say?
the same words. And I think a bigger problem is
mean,
that
the
the
Gospel
Gospel
of
of Barnabas
Barnabas,
actually
I mean, it's
paraphrases Dante's Inferno.
A non-canonical text. I mean,
it's a non-canonical text. I mean, there's some types of non-canonical text, but I mean, I don't know. Calling it a fraud. I mean, I could call everything in every text a fraud.
well, I mean, I think he's saying it's a forgery. Like it wasn't written by who they say it was written by. It
Yeah,
wasn't
he didn't say
written by
fraud. He said
Barnabas.
forgery. Yeah.
He
Forgery.
said forgery.
Yeah.
Well, I get what Jim's saying, though. I mean, he's quoting Matthew 11,
I mean,
27 and
I
all this
think
shit,
if I'm
which is
correct,
kind
like the book of Barnabas or the Gospel of Barnabas includes shit like Muhammad and stuff like that. It was written to try to connect Muhammad to the Christian faith.
Yeah, but I was just saying it's from the Middle Ages. I don't know who.
So that's even worse for Billy though. It's from the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because he started
Just
out
re-
saying that he was quoting was much earlier.
How
And
did
I would have to go back and
later.
get like my school textbooks on like the different, apocryphal texts. But from what I remember, it was basically written by Muslims to be like, yeah, look, we're also connected to you Christians. Accept us. Now let us chop your heads off.
yes, let us have your country.
Yeah.
I'm
It
still
includes
wondering
Dante's Inferno, says
Does
Morgan
it?
Kane.
Really?
Huh. I don't know. I don't remember that. Durka
Written in
Muhammad
1314.
Jihad. Sweet Tooth
So
got it.
there's a lot of internal evidences that disqualify the Gospel of Barnabas. Never mind the fact that we don't have any evidence of it prior to the 14th century, and none in any
There you
other
go, Jim. The Middle Ages, right? Yeah.
Right.
language other than Middle Age Italian Italian and Spanish.
Hey.
But the internal content of the Gospel of Barnabas
Yeah,
disqualifies
they're
it from
both
being
dirty
ancient.
people.
And then the fact that it's doing things like
It's
paraphrasing
true.
Dante, or it also refers to a rule
Oh, it
of
does
the
have
time of
Dante.
Jubilee, which was changed in the Middle Ages from what it was in the biblical year of Jubilee. And it goes with the Middle Ages concept, not the ancient concept. So I think what I'm getting at is, so I'm a historian and I deal with sources. So when I'm looking at sources, I want to make sure that I have a methodology by which I approach any type of source. So if there is something that denies the crucifixion, I want to make sure that I'm analyzing it and that the methodology by which I analyze it
Just like a
actually
white man
reveals
trying to bring a
that the
black
content
man
can be
down,
accurately
man.
tied to the event. So
Yeah,
if
it's what we're
we're
good
talking
at,
about
Ruby.
say Codex Sinaiticus, that's in the 4th
I
century.
know,
Now
right?
that
Let's get
is, I would
black
agree
men
with
get
you, Billy,
go
our
by
oldest
Canadian.
copy of the Bible in the sense of cover to cover,
I don't
Genesis to
know.
Revelation
That's
copy of the
why I
Bible.
got a white
The
woman.
problem is that we have individual
Makes me feel
copies
good.
of all 4 Gospels
You could have
going back hundreds of years before Codex Sinaiticus. So I have a facsimile behind
Good
me
luck with that.
of P66. This is a late 2nd century copy of the Gospel of John. I work with this particular manuscript. I can just show the screen right here. This is an almost complete copy of the Gospel of John.
Oh wow!
And it
Is that the
has the
papyrus by
crucifixion.
any chance?
Yeah, so papyrus is just the what it's made out of. So
I got that from
Yeah.
ChatGPT, by the way.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
guys, I'm just
I can
playing something
actually-
smart for a second.
Where was this debate?
Oh, that's
Dude, this guy Wes was coming in here to destroy him. You can tell. Like
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
raping Billy
he
Carson. right now.
cannot fucking wait to slam every answer Billy gives. You can just tell.
I'll show you this. So I make
Wood to
so
it.
the documents you actually see on my bookshelf behind me are facsimile papyri that I've made. So when I was in Egypt last summer, I went and I got made for me some papyrus sheets. And so I take these papyrus sheets, which are made from the papyrus plant, and then when I go and I look at actual manuscripts, so I was at the University of Philadelphia last summer, and I went and I saw a document called P1, which is a 3rd century fragment of the beginning of the Gospel of Matthew. And so what I did is I sat down with that original and I produced a facsimile. So I copied the text. First of all, I cut it out with an exacto knife
This
in
motherfucker.
not the original 3rd
This
century.
dude came correct.
I cut out with an exacto
Wow.
knife, and then I
Talk
copied
about
the
bringing
text
it
Billy,
originally
look at Billy's
on the front and the
face.
back. So the fact-
I challenged this guy Wes to say, Billy, can you read this, please? Oh, it'd be the best, Jim. If he, hey, can you please interpret what this says?
Billy's
Papyrus is just simply
Jim's
it's
so
what it's
mad
made
right
out
now.
of.
Oh, did he?
And so there's categorizing
Jim
systems.
is mad. Look
And
at his
the
face.
standard one is called the
Not
Gregory
mad,
Alarm categorizing
but
system.
They
And so
found the
sometimes
Book
you'll
of
see
Enoch in
when
the Dead
manuscripts are
Sea
mentioned, they'll
Scrolls
have
in
a
the
GA
50s in
and
pots
then
that
a
they
number
know
behind it.
were old as
If it's made of
fuck.
papyrus,
So I don't
Yeah.
understand.
But he's not talking about Enoch.
Well,
Yeah, but it also had all the other the biblical text in it.
Right.
a
Along
whole
with
bunch
it.
of
Had all
stuff.
the other books in the Bible too.
What about the Bible in Ethiopia or whatever?
You're talking about the Jewish Talmud?
Yeah, whatever.
That doesn't include Jesus at all. That's just the Old Testament.
The Talmud doesn't
Or not
include
Talmud,
Jesus?
but do what?
Yep.
Yeah, the Talmud.
doesn't
I'm
include
right.
Jesus. I thought it did. Or maybe I'm thinking
No,
of
the
something
Old
else.
Testament does not include. It includes like references about him coming, and it includes his lineage. But the Jewish Bible is just the Old Testament.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Isn't it the first 5 books?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm thinking of something else.
the
where,
Torah, not the Talmud. The Talmud was written 70 years after Jesus' death in Babylon. Babylon after the diaspora.
the Talmud.
Yeah, the Talmud. The Torah
So that's
is the
not.
Old
So
Testament.
that's not the book where they have Jesus fucking burning and shit.
That's the
in hell,
Talmud.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's
okay.
the Talmud. It was written after Jesus died. Yeah,
Okay.
in
Simply
Babylon.
abbreviate the word papyrus to P, and then you have the numbering system. So P66, what I showed you earlier, that's this on the categorizing system. It's the 66th manuscript that was put into the system. It's from the Gospel of John. I also have, P46 and P47 on my shelf, which includes all 4 Gospels and Acts from the 2nd and 3rd centuries. So The only
Billy's like,
the
where
only
do I get
hesitation I
them
have
books?
with what you
Shit,
said,
yeah.
Billy,
Amazon.
is
I'm
that
waiting
we
for
have
record
single
scratch.
copies of the gospel
Makes you wonder how
what
that
it
can
is
be
though, but
dated
can you
from
get
the
those on
2nd century
Amazon though?
that all do have the crucifixion. And so if we're relying on something like the Gospel of Barnabas, which is not just like, it's not that there's debate about it, it's that it's a known forgery. I mean, no one's referring to the Gospel of Barnabas as anything other than.
If you say it's a known forgery, Nash, but I'm going to go with that. Let's talk about the Old Testament a little bit and leading
Yeah.
into the New.
Well, hold on, because do you mind if I address the Gospel of Jesus' wife?
Sure, go ahead.
What was her name?
Yeah,
I'm like trying to write notes like I know what I'm doing, but I'm just curious.
So the Gospel of Jesus' wife doesn't actually mention. So oftentimes what happens is that the text of the Gospel of Jesus' wife is kind of paralleled with the Gospel of Philip, which mentions that that Jesus would kiss Mary Magdalene on the mouth. And so those are kind of used in parallel to kind of for this argument, this argument that Jesus was married. So the Gospel of Jesus' wife is in the Harvard Library. However, the reason we know it's also not legitimate is because even though the manuscript, the papyrus that it's on, was carbon dated to the 4th century, the text was actually copied from a PDF version of the Gospel of Thomas known as Grandin's Interlinear. And there was a mistake in the Coptic text of Grandin's Interlinear that was copied into the Gospel of Jesus' wife. So we know that this is not a legitimate document, even though the papyrus is ancient, and this happens a lot with forgeries. I have a couple of friends who have actually worked on projects that have revealed forgeries within Dead Sea Scroll manuscripts and within other ancient Christian papyri. But the reason why we know the Gospel of Jesus' wife, and that Karen King, who kind of vouched for it and she lost a lot of credibility, unfortunately, for her, and she's admitted that it's a fake as well, was because we can tie it directly to not copying from an ancient text, but actually copying from an online version of the Gospel of Thomas in a PDF form, and the mistake on that PDF form was copied into
supposed to be
the text that was borrowed in the.
Because he said, I want to address the Gospel of Jesus' wife.
So
Because
I
Billy
just
mentioned
that
it
out
as
is,
a
once
fact.
again, with our sourcing, I think we need to make sure that we're going towards not just
This
early
seems
sources, but
outside
actually
Billy
credible
Carson's
sources.
wheelhouse.
And
Like, he should be
unfortunately,
talking
neither the
about
Gospel of Barnabas nor the Gospel of
aliens
Jesus'
and
wife are
fucking
credible sources in
planets.
terms of actually and agreed upon by not just the vast majority of scholars.
He likes
I
to
don't know
talk about
anybody
Jesus a
in the
lot.
field of
man.
papyrology, paleography, historiography, who actually refers to these documents as being legitimate.
That's fair enough. I can respect that. So let's go into the Old Testament a little bit.
Can we get back to ISOM? Can we get back to ISOM? Bob, let's get back to ISOM.
From my research, I discovered that a lot of information from the Enuma Elish and the 7 tablets of creation is a lot of in Genesis, a lot of the creation story that comes into Genesis. Not all of it, but because obviously it's a smaller, Genesis is a much smaller version of a much bigger story. But it's literally almost word for word from the Enuma Elish. And the
Wes
Seven
is like,
Tablets
what
of
the
Creation.
fuck
The
did he
Epic of
just say?
Atrahasis as well.
Right.
Is also
What did I get
there
myself
in the
into?
Old Testament. Several other tablets as well, Code of Hammurabi and a few others have made it into that text. Sumerian cylinder scrolls that talk about the creation story. Again, the creation story in the Epic of Atrahasis. And so we tend to see this copying of ancient tablets, text, and scriptures, even some papyruses, into the biblical text. Meaning that my point here is that I think a lot of people are saying that this information was written in real time. A lot of people believe that. If you ask the average person, they really believe that. But a lot of this information is just copied from older tablets and texts from an earlier date. That's what I found. That it's made it into the canonized Bible, but they never reference that they got it from any other ancient texts and tablets that have to do with a totally different civilization with totally different religious beliefs.
Have you read the Enuma Elish?
Yeah, I've done lectures.
Do you mind? Sure. Do you mind summarizing the content of the creation account in the Enuma Elish for us?
No.
Sure. The Enuma Elish is a very ancient text discovered in the Library of Ashurbanipal. And the summary of it is that it really gives us an account, which is crazy, an astronomical account of the creation of our solar system. It talks about planets and moons gaining specific orbits around the sun. It talks about a huge planet named Tiamat, 46 times larger than Earth. Earth didn't exist at the time.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Ruby.
That's a dragon.
Yeah, he's a buddy of ours.
He's a buddy of ours, and that's
the
also
original
a
version,
dragon.
it's called Nibiru,
Right.
but in a more recent version, still thousands of years old,
From
the name was changed to Marduk. Marduk is in the
Babylonia,
Jewish American Library,
Marduk.
in the Torah and so forth. Very popular figure in ancient times in the religious books and texts. Marduk wanted to be the destroyer, so Marduk is the one that during its next orbit towards Tiamat, crashed into Tiamat and destroyed Tiamat. A huge chunk of it swung away, recoalesced, taking the water, land, and organic material, which basically recoalesced as our planet here, Earth. And the rest of it broke up into pieces. Some of it turned into the asteroid belt. Other parts of it were thrown towards the sun, and some were thrown towards the inner Oort cloud, towards the outer edge of the solar system.
Wait a minute.
This planet or this moonlet that orbited supposedly a brown dwarf, based on the description of it,
Yeah,
again,
the
very
wolf
strange orbit
pertaining
around
in
our sun.
goddess. That's what
Very-
TMNet
we have the
is.
scientific evidence now also to match with
Billy Carson
Saturn.
should get into
We
the
see
comics
Saturn and,
industry and
maybe
write
Neptune,
the
which
story
places,
I
out.
think he
That'd be
read the
interesting.
comics
on
to
its
come up
side.
with his
There's
theory.
more evidence that something
Oh,
came to our solar system
it's
in
the other way
ancient
around.
times and
Yeah.
gravitationally really tugged at planets here and switched up the
And
orbits
then
and
Galactus.
the axis of a planet on its own side, where the
And
equator is
then
now
the
running north and
Silver
south.
Surfer.
So
You put
a
that
little
on
bit
your
of modern
ass.
astrophysics kind of backs up what this ancient text is saying. But the Enuma Elish also then begins to talk about the fact that these beings, it kind of cuts into the fact
We
that these
don't want to
beings,
see you do this.
are on Earth, and, at some
What are you
point
gonna-
begin to engage mankind.
Put Sydney
Otherwise, they
Sweeney
didn't
back
break
up on
from
the
the
screen.
track,
Let's
they
see what
engaged
Ruby
the
does
existing
with that
hominid
Vaseline.
and
Jim, I
began
thought he
to,
asked for a summary,
began to utilize
not
us
the
as
whole
workers
reciting
for
of the
their
fucking
workforce.
book.
And the Atrahasis epic,
I don't
we see a
know.
much similar story, like slightly later date period, but still thousands of years old, the Epic of Atrahasis. And we see a very similar story. And we see where the sons of God literally came down to Earth. They came from Mars, according to this text.
I just want to know about the Anunnaki.
Mars and to English.
I'm sure we're going to
And
get
then
there.
They went to battle. They were going to go to battle in South Africa against Enki and Lilith Anu, and they
Oh,
come
he
to
said
terms
Enki and
without going to
Abalulu.
battle. They argued that they needed women, human women, believe it or not, and they also wanted a workforce. They didn't want to continue to do the labor. They were cleaning out the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, digging canals, building cities on Earth, and according to the text on Mars, not according to me. And
Well, they weren't.
a decision was made by Enki and Anu and Enlil to allow
There's your
this,
Anunnaki,
experiment
Jim.
to happen, where they would take the existing hominid here. They would slay
Ask
one of
and
the
you
gods,
shall receive.
meaning that they would, in my opinion, that doesn't mean that they're going to kill it, but somehow some type of genetic modification or manipulation, in my personal opinion, that's my personal hypothesis. But in the end, it ends up being that human beings are now doing a lot of this labor and worshiping these people as gods, as they, my personal opinion, masqueraded as gods. A lot of stories there, parallel stories that you see in the Bible, even the Tower of Babel incident and many other crazy stories that are in the Bible. You can find a lot of those true stories in the ancient texts, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, where you can find the true story of Noah. They found the Noah tablet to give him instructions on how to build the ark. It wasn't a big boat; it was a round disc that he built.
they
with
found it?
Just cut up on the inside like a pie. That was discovered about 4 or 5 years ago. I believe it's at the British Museum now. So there's a lot of text that's been covered and copied over into the biblical text.
Heard
And I
about that
think
disc thing though.
in my personal opinion, a lot of people are just
From
became a
Billy.
cargo cult, worshiping people that were masquerading as gods. I
Probably
do
did
believe in
came
God. By the way,
from
let me make this clear. I believe in God. I believe I believe in it as a creator of the universe. I believe that the mathematics, quantum physics, all proves that. The fact that we're here, I believe this universe is imbued with a divine energy and a divine spark that lives inside of all of us. I just don't believe that the God of the Bible is truly the creator of the universe.
The
I
guy
don't
on the
think that
right
God needs
ready to
money. I don't think
fucking
that God
just
needs.
Sure. Do you mind if I just jump in here for a second? Because I think we kind of gone on from the original question. I appreciate that. I do have a few issues with your summary, although I think I have read the Akkadian version. My Akkadian's not great, but I sat down with a seriologist friend and we walked through it a couple years ago. So I think that there are components of what you said that I would say are in there. I'm not sure it's the best summary. Nonetheless, okay, going with what you said that there were like verbatim parallels with the biblical creation story. Even just going off of what you said, which I think there are components of that I would agree with, the Battle of the Gods, the concept of Enki and the younger gods, and they fight Tiamat, and then Marduk, who swears he'll defeat Tiamat, and Kunku, who kills Tiamat by shooting her with an arrow, and there's this big battle, and then the gods that die end up being the earth and the sky and even us, because we are the end result of that battle. I'm just curious, when you say that there are not just parallels, but there's actual copying, looking at Genesis chapter 1 and 2, where the creation story is summarized in the Bible, what are the actual kind of parallels there that you're looking to? Because as someone who's read both, I not only do I not find parallels, I actually, and this is the majority of ancient Near Eastern scholarship with me, think that Genesis chapter 1 is actually an apologetic against documents like the Enuma Elish. So what are the parallels there?
Getting a little uppity.
Separated the waters from the waters.
I don't
For
like
example. That's in the Enuma Elish. That's also in
Like
the
he
biblical
knows something, Julio. What the fuck?
Okay, that I would agree is a parallel. The only reason I highlight that is that if you're making this the argument, because if you brought it up, and I mean this with all due respect, there are superficial parallels. I would agree. The separation of the water, the concept of the earth being formless and void. That's also in the Enuma Elish. However, I think all the other details, it's the details that make the difference, and if we're looking at not the superficial crossovers, but the actual themes and concepts of what it's saying, you don't have a creation within 7 days. You don't.
I'm not going to take the Enuma Elish and put it into the biblical text. There's certain words that they utilize that let me know that they copied it from that text. Like, for example,
so what words?
Separating the water from the waters, the void, the earth being void. That information is literally just copied over. So it tells you that somebody saw that and said, let me add it to this book right here. Or let me add it to the scripture or this papyrus. It wasn't a book yet at that time.
So
Was this text discovered that makes it parallel to Genesis? Was this
shut up, bitch?
Like supposedly discovered prior to? I'm just curious.
It wasn't discovered prior to the Bible, but it dates back long before the Bible was ever written.
Oh,
Yeah. So let me just say this. So the reason why I say it's actually an apologetic against that is because the purpose of the Enuma Elish, which the Babylonians read every Babylonian New Year, was to point out the fact that the deities, and there's countless deities in the Babylonian pantheon, they actually come from the created order. So they're not outside of time and space. They actually come from the created order. And when they die in this battle, right, when Tiamat is defeated, the defeated gods become the earth and the sky and the plants and even you and me. And in that sense, the theme is that you don't actually have any purpose or end result, and you're not created in the image of God. In fact, in the ancient Babylonian system, only the kings were created in the image of God. And what we see that is counter to that is that even, sure, there's superficial, divided the waters, but we find that in almost every society and culture. That's not a parallel as much as it's just a generality. I would say what we see within the biblical account is that God purposefully creates. There's only one God. He purposefully creates, and then he creates, and it's good. And it continues to say it's good 7 times. And then at the end of chapter 1, just for the thick people in the original audience, it says, and then it was very good. And then he creates humanity, not kings, but simply the humans that he creates in God's image. And they have purpose and meaning, and that instills them with this creation order. And that's not what we find in the Enuma Elish. In fact, we find the opposite in the Enuma Elish, is that the created order is not good. It's a mistake. And that you are not created in the image of God. And there's a reminder that regular people are not created in the image of God. So linguistically, Hebrew does have Semitic ties with Akkadian. Doesn't with Sumerian. Sumerian is a language isolate, agglutinizing language. But I would say, just with all due respect, the parallels linguistically are not there. There might be superficial kind of concepts that are there, but they're so superficial that we can find them in everything. In the sense of, I'm in an office studio, you're in your office studio. That doesn't mean that that we're the same people or we're even in the same place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't agree with that. I just see if I have all these texts out, there's a lot of different information that you can see. There's a lot of it's been copied word for word into the biblical text.
But what's word for word?
In your version of what you believe in,
Billy got a Band-Aid on his arm. Did he get blood before this debate?
And so where do you
maybe?
Look at his right arm.
Throughout the Hebrew Old Testament and the Greek New Testament, you have the masculine singular pronoun used for God.
That's not the left arm.
Why is God a man? Where's the evidence of this?
Well, God isn't a man. See, within historical Christianity, we don't believe that God has a gender. However, the way that he has decided to reveal himself is through the masculine plural, and then ultimately by becoming a human in the person of Jesus Christ. So we don't believe that God has a gender. In fact, the fact that God creates humanity in his image and he creates the male and female, those are 2 aspects of the image of God. And so that's the completeness. So historical Christianity has never argued that God is gendered. Jesus is gendered in the sense that during the incarnation, he becomes a human man, but he's still fully man and fully God. But God is spirit, and as the scripture says, we
give a woman one last reminder she ain't a man.
What's that? Sorry.
God is the same all the time, right? He's always good. God is all the same all the time, right?
Yeah, but we do see that though in scripture, God has revealed himself through the masculine plural, and there are aspects of God's character that we see within scripture that do actually communicate. Jesus says that he longs to gather Israel like a mother hen collects her chicks. So we see aspects of the feminine of God, not meaning that God is feminine, but that the image of God reflects both the masculine and the feminine. And that's why when the 2 become one flesh, there's a uniting of that reflects the image of God as well.
Told him he has to take it all down, or he's going to sue him.
I actually believe that the majority of Christians really believe that God is not masculine, that God is has both.
So what's funny?
It's irrelevant. The majority of Christians believe
the guy he's debating, Mark, and
God's not a man.
The funny part is.
Well,
the guy that's a moderator has been Billy's friend for years. He didn't take it off his channel.
I in graduate school.
And
I would say here's
1.34 million views.
In one sense, it's irrelevant what the majority of Christians believe, because what historical biblical Christianity articulates is what they should believe. There are Christians who run around saying all sorts of things that are not in conformity to biblical, historical, Orthodox Christianity. And they shouldn't believe that because it's irrelevant. And so if one Christian believes something that is not in line with biblical Christianity, that's on them. So God is not gendered, but he does express through inspired scripture the masculine the masculine
it's
pronoun.
Pretty lame.
That's pretty convenient.
Sooner the guy to take it down. When it's been seen this many times, that's stupid.
It's stupid at this point. Hey man, I was sick. Let's redo this.
Also, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, I mean, so
he told Billy
because it is interesting.
He told Billy in his response, dude, I'll take it down if you agree to debate me again.
If it was only for the Old Testament, I would have a hard time following a lot of stuff. For me, like what you said, putting the boots on women and stuff, it was when Jesus came that when they were literally if a woman, you can just accuse a female of having an affair and murderer, and that's like okay. That he was he just reminds me of anyone that basically challenged everything, and people would say that it didn't contradict what's in the Old Testament, but however people were interpreting it, they were believing that they were following the Bible to women can't do this, you stone them if they have an affair or if they're accused of having an affair. And Jesus, as we know, the famous scene when they were about to stone her, he's like, he who hasn't sinned cast the first stone, basically saying no one's perfect. And was the first one that I know of that started like speaking to other tribes and other countries that people weren't supposed to, like they were so racist and prejudiced. And this is where my heart opened up, is like he stood for this love and this God that broke down all these barriers and just flipped what all the scholars and everything was saying too. Like there's like people that were like, if I in it is what, like if you're pre-writing this to be the perfect person
that
after
was
God's
just
own heart, then
Jewish
king,
people thing. That's
you're
not
gonna
in the
like have
Bible.
the
Nowhere in
story
the
end
Bible does it
perfectly,
say to
but then he
stone a
goes off
woman
to
who's
see
an adulterer.
he's watching this lady bathe nude.
It doesn't say that
has an
anywhere.
affair with her, has her husband killed.
They just did it.
It's like,
so that's a stupid statement.
But then goes on to keep praying to God and coming back to God, like with a humanity. And God's like, this is a man after my own heart. And it's like finding all these human flaws is, to me, showed so much of like the beautiful struggle that, and I'm not going off everything. Slaves are like the one that taken on, and Catholicism continue to find this awful stuff or in another country in the name
book called Bullies and Saints, where
of God. And then that's the way I look at things. So anyway, go ahead. I had to just throw in.
He's giving a big buffer to Billy to recover.
Exactly, dude. Like getting the attention off of Billy for 5 minutes.
By
whatever.
a friend of mine, John Dixon. It's a book called Bullies and Saints, where he goes through a lot of the instances of we're obviously going to find abuses, and every human being is going to find a way to exploit whatever is presented to them. So in one sense, I think we can say, isn't it convenient that God used the masculine plural pronoun, or sorry, the masculine pronoun, I keep saying plural, it's just a mistake, the masculine pronoun, and we can say, oh, sure, that's convenient, maybe, but it is how he has revealed himself to us. And it's not his fault if we abuse that. I mean, we could say, so I grew up in the Middle East. My parents worked in Amman, Jordan. And when I was living in the Middle East, there was a country called the Democratic Republic of Iraq. Now, just because democracy exists and people are going to name things democratic when they obviously aren't, doesn't mean we then judge democracy. I mean, think of the Democratic Republic of North Korea, right? Nobody thinks that's an actual representation of democracy. So people are always going to abuse terms and ideas and concepts. The difference is, though, I think historically within Judeo-Christianity, you have this ethic that we were talking about before that I think is fundamentally different than what we find in things like the Enuma Elish, the Atrasis, and other things, in that we are created in the image of God. And actually, one of the earliest criticisms of Christianity are by individuals like Celsus, who is a Greco-Roman philosopher in the 2nd century, where he accused Christianity of being foolish, dishonorable, and stupid, and he called it the religion of slaves, women, and children. Why? Not because God used the masculine pronoun for himself and people were abusing that, because the concept that Christians believed in of everybody, no matter what your gender, your race, your social standing, Paul says in Christ there is no slave nor free, there is no Jew nor Gentile, there is no Scythian or barbarian, there's no male nor female. These things united people. And we can see there's a historian named Rodney Stark. And in his book, The Rise of Christianity, he actually says that you can track empirically the agency of women across the ancient world by the movement of Christianity. So that, in other words, whenever an area became populated by Christians, we see a direct correlation with the privileges and treatments of women that expand in time when the surrounding culture largely didn't view women as being fully human. So I think we're always going to have abuses, but if there's one worldview that exists that gives agency to people and says that everybody has worth by nature of being just human, it's the Christian worldview. And that's where I think it's very different. So we can argue about why we think God should or shouldn't have revealed himself in his pronouns, but I think that's actually irrespective of the historical reality that we see within the impact of Christianity, particularly on the West, but around the world, and how it gives agency to the marginalized.
Wes, can I ask you one? So when because I'm always interested in this, like you were raised Christian. I always think about this, like my wife who's Muslim, and our beliefs at the core are so similar, but there's some differences. And I wonder, like, if I was born in Sierra Leone, West Africa, where she was, I know in the Bible says Christ revealed, but C.S. Lewis is someone that I really respect, because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a think outside the box always, and we should be. No one should just be like sheep and follow what any of us are saying. Like, do your research on your own with everything, of course. But what led you, sorry, going back to C.S. Lewis real quick, he was a famous scholar who was once an atheist, set out on a journey to basically disprove the Bible. As he went to do that, he himself found out that to be like one of the most historically accurate written books, which really shocked him. He then became a Christian after that. He's done the Narnia movies, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or their books. They weren't movies when he passed away. But he has an amazing. I love people like him because he doesn't just act like, he always was questioning everything. He's like, why is there this going? Why are these little kids dying, God, when they're but something that he continued to come up with, which reminded me so much of Jesus and the love conquers all things too, is when so many people overly get caught up on religion over the relationship. And he's like, I've actually met some atheists that are closer
Billy
to God
was
without even knowing
supposed to
it.
be
And I met
debating
some
this guy.
Christians that are further away from God without even knowing it. And I believe that too so much. And I'm just really curious, like, as you went on your journey as being like a historian, studying biblical text, and then being raised, you know, of the church, did you take it? I don't want to put what, because did you take it upon like, whatever I continue to discover, I'm going to have to accept, like, say something you did find when you were in Egypt revealed differently than what you were taught? You know, like, did you kind of tell yourself, I'm going on a quest, like searching for truth without like a set conclusion to prove Christianity?
Tribe
That
Called Quest.
it could go either way.
I know,
making
right?
sense?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a bit of an unusual household in that my mom grew up in India, and my parents when I was younger. I was born in Pakistan, and I spent a portion of my childhood in Jordan. I grew up in majority Muslim countries and surrounded by majority Muslim environments. And we had, you know, a copy of the Quran in the room. In fact, we had the Bhagavad Gita and the Book of Mormon, and you know, for a little while, other documents in our house. These were things that my parents, although they never verbally said, these Christianity is true, therefore these are not forbidden, these are not verboten. You know, the truth, capital T truth, of the reality of the world we behold can stand up against scrutiny and investigation. And I did do a great deal of that as a kid. My dad is a historian as well. He has a doctorate, and I grew up on him, you know, reading the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. But at the exact same time, the reason why I actually went to university with full intention of going into the police force, but it was interactions with Muslims and Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses and atheists and accusations against the credibility of the Bible, which actually piqued my interest, because they would say things that I said that I thought, you know, if that's true, of course that undermines what I believe. I believe that Jesus is God incarnate. If I can't trust the Gospels as reliable first century eyewitness testimony, then I might as well throw all of this away, because I'm not going to believe a lie, even if it's a convenient lie. And so it was actually the exploration of eventually going into graduate college and then now in working on my PhD, the largest secular university in Canada, that got me thinking, okay, how do we investigate these things? What are the methodologies by which we go about to explore the origins and credibility of something like the Bible? And that investigation, with all due respect to Billy and the content you put out, has actually confirmed what I believe. You know, I'm dealing with the actual manuscripts. I travel to academic institutions, to other countries, and I look at these things and I read them. And it's a privilege to be able to learn languages like Greek and Coptic and Hebrew and Aramaic and dig into these things. And I think ultimately, I really appreciate what you said there, Mark, with your articulation of your personal relationship. And I think that's so important. But I think it's also important to remember that that relationship is based on something that's real and verifiable. And we can look into the evidence. You know, I have friends who are linguists, philologists, and historians. And when we look into these things and we talk with one another and we're discussing, we're constantly trying to falsify our theories, because that's what good history does. We're looking for the falsification. You don't go in, ideally, if you want to be a good historian, with trying to prove your original thesis. You go in and say, okay, what are the avenues that actually could disprove this? And then how do we engage with those in an appropriate and articulate manner? So what I believe is true, but I believe it based on the evidence of the actual documentation. You know, I've read a lot of the literature that you're talking about, Billy, the Enuma Elish, the Atrahasis, the Bhagavad Gita, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and I've read some of them in their original languages because I've tried to be a good historian and go back into the primary sources. Or if I can't, engage with people like my friends who are Assyriologists, who are philologists, and try to not just go off of a translation, but the original. And I think I found largely the opposite of the conclusions that you have made, Billy. And I know that you are very passionate about what you talk about, and I respect that. I just think that the confidence might not actually be backed up by the reality of the evidence. So when we're looking at something like the Sinai Bible, when we're looking at something like the Gospel of Barnabas, when we're looking at something like the Gospel of Jesus' wife, these are things that actually have provenance that we can verify. And ultimately, I think the answers to the questions of the legitimacy or the illegitimacy of those things point to not just a different conclusion, but actually the opposite conclusion, and that Christianity is true.
Well, now I'm glad you said that. So those three topics are a very small piece of my concept and idea of what really happened in the ancient past. So that's a very small fraction. And that's less than 0.1%. You talk about eyewitness accounts to convince you that Christianity is real. There's been eyewitness accounts of every culture that I've visited around this entire planet, and their eyewitness accounts of what they experienced is 100,000% opposite of what's in the Bible. People have
based on what do you mean? Can you give me an example?
The Dogon tribe, for example, in Mali, Africa. They experienced a culture that they claim came to this planet from Sirius B. They have the evidence that they knew these beings were from Sirius B because they have the instruments that show the orbit of a trinary
Sirius
star
B
system
was a good
that we couldn't
rapper.
discover until the 1970s.
I know, right?
With our modern technology, okay? They understood not only the orbital pattern of Sirius A, B, and C, but even that B was a failed star, which you can't see it from Earth with the naked eye. They knew that it was a white dwarf. They even knew that that they said that if you took a tablespoon of it, the entire tribe or 1,000 men couldn't lift a tablespoon. They understood mass and gravity as well. They were told the shape, the sizes, and the colors of all the planets in our solar system, which they recorded. And there's only one wisdom keeper, and that person can never be touched by a person. If they get touched by another person, they'd actually be killed. And then they eventually have a mentee that they break down that verbally handed down knowledge to, and that next person then takes over, becomes the wisdom keeper. And they've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. And science, modern science, has found all their information to be 1,000% accurate. Then you have the Hopi tribe of the Americas, indigenous tribes, Hopi tribe, Lakota tribe, also having engagements with these quote unquote star brothers, even having an account of them being taken underground, which you don't see just only in
Star
America.
Brothers.
I just came back from Turkey. You have the people from Turkey.
Ruby had to
Mesopotamia,
leave.
also being taken underground into a place called Derin Kuyu by these beings, by these people.
Julio, you having
A
some
structure that's
tacos
built
too?
12 stories deep underground that's made out of
he left.
volcanic
All right.
tuff, a very soft stone. And if you don't know what you're doing, it'll actually collapse. There's no evidence of any collapse. And it was thousands of years old. It was reused many times. So the mainstream story about what it was used for to hide from Romans is actually false. This place is ancient. And in order to build it, you actually have to have foreknowledge of how to construct this type of underground civilization that can hold 20 to 30,000 people, places for livestock, places for worship, with no sign of collapse. And you have to have hundreds of ventilation shafts. And I've been down there. Those ventilation shafts cut through solid rock all the way down to the core. And there's even more. It links to other underground cities that are miles and miles away.
To the
As you get
core
to the very
of
base
what,
this
Cynic?
area, you can
To
cut
the
through and
core
go
of
to
the
another location.
earth?
But
I'm
again, these people were
assuming
taken
that's
under.
what he
Also, then you have the
means.
ancient Egyptians.
The
Similar story.
core.
Major catastrophe comes.
Yeah.
These people come and take them underground.
Yeah, more
Then you have
Crane,
the
Crane got
information
it.
in the
Star
Egyptian book
Brothers.
of Going Forth by Day.
Mm.
More accounts by people, our ancestors, that have accounts that do not match up with the biblical text. And so all of a sudden, we're saying that all these cultures, the Aboriginal people, I can go into them as well. I've gone
Sure,
to
sure.
walkabouts in
Do you mind?
Outback, in the Outback.
Yeah.
And the Aboriginal elders, same thing. They were seated here by Pleiadians. This is their verbal handed down history for thousands of years. And I can go around the world and I can come up with all this information from all these eyewitness accounts from people that should be respected, dignified, and shouldn't be scoffed. And that we're now saying that all this information that they put forward, all their verbal handed down history, all their written history, that's got to go to the side because this one text is 1,000% accurate.
Sure, but so my question is, most of that is oral history, correct?
Oh, it's all oral history, even the Bible.
Okay, so when we're engaging with oral history, what methodologies are you using to confirm that the orality is accurate?
Well, first and foremost, some of these texts or some of these cultures have written down information in caves. You've got cave paintings. The Dogon tribe actually have not only written down.
Sure. No, I don't disagree with that. The question is one of historic. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. The question is one of methodological analysis. So you have to have a method by which you can find either that something is falsifiable or that there are avenues by which you can show internal and external accuracy of credibility. So this is what we do with documents. This is what we do with the ancient Gospels. This is what I do. I've worked on Xenophon and Plutarch, and we look at the internal evidences and the external multivalent corroboration to try to figure out, okay, yes, we have all these stories. Great. I don't deny that. But as a historian, as someone who's trying to figure out what is accurate, how do you know if I use the term verisimilitude, do you know what that term means?
No, but I can tell you this. Tell me how the Dogon tribe saw Sirius B, knew the orbit of Sirius B, a trinary star system accurately, and can show you the orbit with a special tool that they made that was given to them by these people. How do they know the shapes, the sizes, the colors, and the orbital pattern of all these planets in our solar system and other star alignments that they would use to have something called the Ziggy and planet and their own harvesting and planting and so forth and so on? That's not enough evidence that there's something.
Well, I'm not aware of that particular case. And even, I mean, I would grant that, the ancient people are far more technological advanced than we give themselves credit for. Just because they're ancient doesn't mean they're stupid. I am well aware, as someone who has done both investigation in the past and done archaeological analysis, that is a reality. My question is simply, okay, you have these stories or you have these accounts, you're referring to them as eyewitness testimony. How are you going about verifying that as that?
Well, if the people had eyewitness testimony about Jesus, they then just wrote down their eyewitness testimony on a piece of paper or parchment paper or papyrus. So these people,
right? So that's where internal methodological analysis.
It's actually written down. So I mean, it's the same exact thing. There's really no difference.
Well, no. So you do internal investigations to figure out when something was dated. So something like so when I used that term verisimilitude before, that's something these historians are looking for. It's a term that simply means the appearance or likelihood of truthfulness. So when you do historical analysis, it's an inference to the best explanation. So you have proof and you have data, and you're extrapolating that data on levels of probability. So some things can be confirmed as high probabilistically true, and other things are lower in their probability that they happened. But there are different methodologies, different ways that you explore historically how that happens.
Well,
So for the Gospels, we look at
with the Dogon tribe. Scientists went there to visit the tribe, and they still have no answers because they used their modern science. They took the best scholars to visit these people, and they're still scratching their heads. Something happened there.
Sure. And I'm not even denying that necessarily, but the question is, okay, we
I gotta
need,
head out,
we
boys.
need different
I'll be in the
levels of
chat.
evidence and exploration.
See you, buddy.
Not just
All right, bud.
scientifically, but historically to derive something as eyewitness testimony. Now we have mountains of that.
The
and
three
I'm more than
amigos,
willing to
Mark
go into
and
some of that
Jim.
with the Gospels as early eyewitness testimony that can be verified externally and internally. But nonetheless, the only
It sounds to me, Mark, like this guy Wes actually went to school to learn how to do the research.
Yeah, and he's basically got the fundamentals of the languages and the scientific method he's using and all of that. And Billy seems to be, from that first video we're watching, one of your complaints right away was long time ago, but he doesn't tell us how long ago. Yep. All of these statements he makes, he doesn't put any facts or references or anything. It's all generalization. This
Right.
guy here is actually bringing receipts, So one guy's a theorist doing stuff that, oh, this is amazing stuff, and it's to whatever his grift is probably. And the
Mhm.
guy on the right is actually, approaching it as an intellectual exercise and coming at it with, good methodology. So there's no comparison. This is not a debate. This is a slaughter. There's nothing here.
Yeah. But again, Billy, you could just still support what you say and mean it. I mean, you can tell Billy is like Jim, almost kind of like intimidated by the answers.
Well, he should be. I mean, everything he mentions, this guy knows something about it. So he had to get down to, well, how did this tribe that's way over there know exactly that this was, this type of
A white
orbit and
dwarf, yeah.
all this other stuff. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I want to know if you actually know or if you Googled that, because that 18 times around the world thing, I don't know. That just seems like
He also said, that they sent their best scientists over there to investigate it and all.
Yeah, and they couldn't figure it out.
Well, why don't you tell us who the scientists were?
Where's their study? Where's that study published? It's going to be somewhere.
Yeah. Tell us where we can find that study.
The only reason I ask, Billy, is because I've listened to a fair amount of your content, and I'm unaware of the methods that you use to try to discern between what is an accurate source historiographically and an inaccurate source historiographically.
Well,
Does that make sense?
I use getting in an airplane and traveling to these places, doing my own research, talking with indigenous cultures, and researching as much of the text that is available that I can possibly find.
Okay, so I don't dispute that, and I do believe you have done that. But I mean, even from what we've talked about, so you've researched the text, but when we talked about the crucifixion, everything you cited was either, and I mean with all due respect, false in terms of the Sinai Bible, because Codex Sinaiticus is just a 4th century Greek manuscript of the Gospels that we have today, or they were verified forgeries in terms of the Gospel of Jesus' wife
You
and
might
the
be
Gospel of
right.
Barnabas.
You may be right on that particular part of the topic, but like I said, that's less than 0.1% of the information that I hold.
Sure, but that was the original question. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, well, so I'm going off of what we've already talked about. So you said you explore the text. I don't deny that. But the evidence, by going off of what you have put forward in terms of the actual documentary evidence, is not just less than convincing in my respect. And I mean this with respect, because I think you have done a lot of research. You've traveled to these places. I have too. Like, this is what I do as my career. But I'm not really getting indication, because in history, we go to the primary sources in their primary languages. And when Mark asked, okay, why do you deny the crucifixion? The sources you used were not primary.
Okay, we're still talking
And
the same thing over and over again. There's so much more we can talk about here. We're wasting a lot of time. There's so much more. That's this amount.
Yeah, it seems like
You
they're
guys
just
so much stuff to talk
focusing
about.
on this one thing.
Well, the fucking moderator's not doing his job. Move on. Let's move on to the next topic. I mean, he doesn't have to sit there and let the Canadian keep piling on. You're right, Jim. I mean, but the moderator's kind of leaving Billy out here to look bad, in my opinion.
Different cultures and stuff describing these other beings. Could those have been, I'm not an expert theology or whatever, but like where it talks about war, I always want to personally ask you this too, where in the Bible it talks about like wars between the demons and the angels. there's a lot of crazy stuff in the Bible too that
Right now, the moderator is
it's
just going into left field.
you can prove it's been
It's
written, but
nothing
it
to do
also
with
takes some
anything.
faith because you can't physically see.
All right, now
where there was
we got to
wars
take it on
between
faith.
demons
Okay.
and angels and stuff fighting in the heavens. So there's tons going on. Obviously, could any of those have been like from what you've discovered or how people have written it? Do you think those could have been demons or angels? Which I don't think
I don't believe in
discredits.
demons or angels at all.
You don't believe in them at all?
No, I don't believe in demons and angels. When you read Azazel coming down in the book of Enoch, coming down, the first thing he does is teach people how to make knives and swords so they can cut a man's head off. You read, you see these quote unquote.
Where's that in the book of Enoch?
In the book of Enoch, Azazel.
No.
He comes down.
Where's that in the book of Enoch? Is it so? The only reason I ask is because there are two Enochs, first Enoch and second Enoch, and only first Enoch is an actual historical amalgamation.
Okay. And then you analyze the fact that these angels are having sex, they're getting drunk. These are just people.
Whoa. Where are angels getting drunk?
Angels party. They go. They hang out with people. They go to war with people. They put on their outfits and go to war with people. This is
where are they getting drunk though?
They get married. Okay, whatever that means. But they're having.
They don't get married.
Okay. Not
In fact, Scripture says that angels can't get
Like
married.
Merry Christmas.
Not married. Mary. Merry. But the point that I'm making here is when you start to really analyze what these angels are doing, and you start to analyze how many people are dying in the biblical text, you start to say, well, how many people did Satan actually kill? And when you start doing the tally on the numbers, God's doing most of the killing in the Bible. It's not the devil that's doing all the killing. And God says in Isaiah, I created the good and I created the evil. Do what I say to the Lord. So he's saying that he's doing the good and the evil. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, this whole thing, I just let me get this out because we keep going over the same rhetoric over and over again. My personal opinion is that the biblical text is a good book. Like I've said, I've got videos. My number one video on Twitter has me saying this. It's good text because if you actually apply some of the information that's in the Bible, you can get a good result, like you have done, Mark.
Right. I struggle with I know I want you to finish your thought. Go ahead.
Yeah. So because you can get a good result, but there's a lot of misinformation in the Bible. There's a lot of false information. That's confirmation text. And if you go by that text, all of a sudden you end up with 400 years of slavery. You end up with abuse. You end up with divide and conquer tactics that separate people. You end up with people thinking that they're the chosen one.
Oh, so the Bible created 400 years of slavery? Okay.
And they're the chosen people, and we've been promised this promised land so we can eradicate another race of people because this is our land, because God promised it to us. You have people that want to go on the papal inquisitions and torture and kill and murder over 80 million people. You have the American Holocaust, 111 million indigenous natives slayed. You have all this going on because
what did he just say?
111 million indigenous slaved?
Oh my God.
That number would have been overwhelming for for the Europeans to take on. That number seems a little high, but maybe they didn't teach me that in school.
I got the bad information, Mark.
Of this text, which is set up so contradictory throughout its path across time. You get into the New Testament, slavery is still being condoned in the New Testament.
Was it?
Honor thy slave master as you would honor God or Jesus, it says, I believe. So
well, it doesn't say that. But
out of the Old Testament, too, like I'll let you go real quick, but I'm just.
It doesn't
I know
say
you have to
that.
go soon too, but I'm speaking as I challenge my own subject. It was always. I'm telling you guys, this is where Jesus came in and changed everything for me. But like the Old Testament too, it is hard.
I don't care what you have to say, dude.
Come down,
with respect and fear as sincerity of heart as
people that I created and then leave a few alive doesn't seem like what Jesus did at all.
He's pulling out his phone for his information, dude.
It did say, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear as sincerity of heart as you would obey Christ. That's slaves. Obey your earthly masters with respect and fear with sincerity in your heart, just as you would obey Christ. So it does say that Ephesians 6:5, but there's so many aspects.
That stuff is what.
And what is the context of what Ephesians is saying? So I think this is very important because we don't take text in isolation. So within Scripture, and this is why all the abolition movements throughout history have only been Judeo-Christian movements. There's never been an abolition movement that wasn't Christian. And actually, there's the recent work by historian Tom Holland, not the Spider-Man actor, different Tom Holland, but his recent Dominion highlights this fact very well. This is not a Christian, but in it, he shows that going right back into the antiquity with the Cappadocian Fathers was the first abolition movement, and then into the British and the American abolition movements. These were fundamentally Christian movements ran by Christians because of the idea that when Paul, who wrote that letter to Ephesians, says, "In Christ there is no slave nor free," he's breaking down those barriers. So in Ephesians, when he says, "Slaves obey your masters," he's operating on the socioeconomic context of what he's going on, and he's saying, "Hey, we have slaves and we have free people." Okay, if you're a believing slave, if you're a slave who believes in Jesus as the Messiah, don't be be equitable in how you are living your life. Reflect Christ accurately. And that's a movement that he is fundamentally working towards that eventually starts to completely take out the legs
This is
from
where
the
we would
slave
argue,
movement in
Wes.
general.
I would be. I love. By the way, I love that we're all. This is respectful. I don't feel this is all just
Yeah.
three grown-ups talking in a healthy way.
I appreciate Wes.
And I think this is going to give us. But this is where you and I sitting down, and I would be like, great that you came to that, but like, what were the methodologies did you use to conclude that him saying the slave be the master to the slave, you're able to interpret it meaning that he's meaning that? Because I was also raised in the church, and I would question when they're like, oh, in the old days when they said women don't wear jewelry, that's a sin. You would know the exact verse.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh, but
Yeah.
that was just written because at that time that was what they did. But then the next week they're telling me, but if you believe in the Bible, you either believe in all of it or none of it. I'm like, well, how come you're
Yes.
just, and they're like, but it's okay for women to do that. Now, those are the things where it's like, we've got to be honest here. Like, if you're respectfully challenging Billy, Billy's going to go and do
Yes.
research and be like, okay, now I want to see how to have, because we're all critical thinkers. Those things seem to just get so blindly pushed over when they're like, but that doesn't apply now. And it's like,
Right.
I think there's more common ground than people think, and so many words to recall, but also, like, it's weird to me to think that he would be like, women aren't allowed to wear jewelry and this crap, and then Jesus came and he's like, none of that matters. And then for them to be like,
Yeah.
oh, that only made sense then, but now it doesn't apply. But believe everything.
Right. So this is what's
Bible
referred
applies.
to.
You know what? Like,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
Christian
So this is what's
myself, this is why, like, I'm always like,
Yeah. So there's a discipline called hermeneutics, and that's that's a methodology of interpretation. So there are multiple levels that you interpret something. So whether we're dealing with, say, the book of Ephesians, or we're dealing with Tacitus's Annals, we look at something and we contextually read it within the framework of how it's being written. So there's a historical approach where we look at the context. Okay, Paul is writing to a church in Ephesus. What's going on in Ephesus, and how is what he's saying?
Is somebody
in
going
that
to
same-
ask this
that is modern day
guy
Turkey?
what the
How
mark
does-
of Cain is?
Ask Wes.
Yeah. What's the mark of Cain, Wes? Explain that. Explained by biblical scholars. Who is
Well,
the mark of Cain? That's
You'd
what
have
I'd
to
like
ask the
to
same-
know.
You'd have to ask the same question to Billy then.
Well,
Does that
Billy knows
pertain
what it
to
is.
that particular
Can see
time
it
and
when you look
framework?
there.
Where is Paul coming
how does
from?
it
Where
pertain to
is
now, though, is my question, because
Yeah. So
you're
here's
giving
so
me-
here's
you're
how I
giving
answer
me-
that question.
And I
Yeah,
love
so-
you to death, Wes, but you're starting to give me, sorry to interrupt you. I believe in God. Like, I believe in and Billy believes in God too. I get why things are challenged and things need to be challenged, but it's saying that was to women then, but being raised in the church
so
and
it's yes
stuff,
and no.
they say, but then they'll pick something and they're like, but that doesn't apply to them now, because in that context, he was talking to this certain town where they were having problems with I'm like, well, that's not written anywhere. And they're like, well, if you go to blah, blah, blah. And then they say, well, God is all knowing, so he perfectly chose what was in and out of the Bible. I believe whoever created the universe, which is God, in my own opinion, is way smarter than any of us. Why would he leave something like that crap in there, that women shouldn't wear jewelry and all that, and then have in the New Testament, that crap doesn't really matter? Like that's where it's like, I have to believe that it's not I do think there is parts where things got written in.
Is this guy
and I don't
sweeping
think they're
this
the
hard
major
for
things,
fucking
but
Billy
personally,
right now?
like,
Is he
whether
really
or not Jesus
sweeping
was
this
crucified,
hard?
which I think is a major thing, because if he wasn't, that I've studied that a lot. That would challenge that would challenge the core of my whole belief system over whether or not it said if women can wear jewelry or something. But I do think that
jewelry,
and I don't know if there's an exact answer to this, but I do.
Well,
think,
I mean,
that's
it's Ted's Jew right
perplexing
in the
to me,
name.
that God of all wisdom
Right.
would choose to leave some of that in there. It's like, why?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So the Bible was written for us, but it wasn't written to us. There is an original audience, whether that's the ancient Israelite in the ancient Near Eastern culture, or whether it's the Greco-Roman believer in Jesus within the city of Ephesus. So as historians, and I mean, most of the books on this end of my shelf are what are referred to as commentaries.
Sorry, I got
but theologians and historians.
I'm smart enough to know I'm not just going to write to this demographic of this civilization now, knowing I'm a God who created the whole world, and people are still going to be studying this thousands of years later.
That's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to come off.
Yes.
So I'm sorry.
No. So
by the way,
here's how I would
I'm
answer
the
that,
worst
Mark.
interrupter ever, and it's more of my ADD type thing of like, I get a thought and I got to get it out, or else I freaking forget it. So I'm sorry about interrupting. Thanks for throwing me on the bus for that.
Yeah,
I'm actually a little bit done with this, so I think I'm going to be
So
calling.
how I would answer that is,
yeah, me too.
See ya.
Okay. Well, guys, that's the end of the show. The fellow's going to take off. Good night. That was kind of bad and boring, Jim.
It was.
You still have respect for Billy?
No, I
He's
I don't
entertaining.
believe anything Billy says. I just think it's a funny story.
Yeah.
You know, but this other guy, like the other guy, I kind of was like, he's like, well, because we have this whole thing that we come up with and we can interpret. Well, yeah, that's just interpretation. So your interpretation is different. Some, you know, it's like it's always changing.
Well, he's taken on that typical academic approach to everything. You know, there's no freedom of thought there. He's basically going with what the mainstream. That's how I feel after watching him enough. I just wish that Billy had stronger answers and he wasn't pulling out his phone to fucking recite the quotes and shit, Jim. That ain't good. I don't like that. So anyway, Jim, tomorrow's Friday. I guess we got to start season 4.
Did we finish season 3?
Yeah, we did the 11, 12, 13 last time. Season
oh yeah,
finale.
we did. That's right.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, all right. Oh yeah, so the first episode's called "Hole in the Wall." It's a good episode.
All right, so I'll watch 1 and 2 tomorrow, and then we'll
And
be
it
back
gets-
tomorrow night.
What's his face makes a big splash in this season. What's his name? The guy. Fucking son of a bitch, short, fat, fucking comedian guy. Fuck is his name?
I don't. Is he the British guy?
No, he's. The fuck is his name, man? He's annoying as fuck. He's a leftist. Something with a P. Something P.
I know you guys have been talking to me about it, and you said he's really good in the show, right?
Yeah, well, no, that not him. You're thinking of the other guy. The what's his face? The guy. The fuck is his name? Some bitch. Hold on. Not Ralphie May, but close. Something with a P. His last name has a P.
Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt. That's it. Patton Oswalt.
Yeah. You said he's good in the show?
He's good in it, yeah.
Kind of a weird choice. He doesn't seem very. Is he playing a Detroit guy?
No, he's a town constable Bob.
Oh, another cop we get to meet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then the next season has a guy in it. The fuck is his name? The idiot. What the fuck is wrong with my brain today?
87%, Betty. 87%. He'll be at 100 soon. He got TDS and he killed his wife.
Yeah, supposedly something like pilled her out or something. What the fuck is the other guy's name? The other guy, the one that called Trump Pig Dick. What the fuck's his name? Fucking Rappaport. He's in the next.
Oh, Michael Rappaport.
Michael Rappaport's in season 5.
Another cop?
No, he's a bad guy. He's actually pretty good in it. Though.
He's usually
he's Dewey Crow's cousin.
Oh,
Daryl
my
Crow
God.
Jr.
No, really? So he's going to play a hillbilly?
Yeah, he's a hillbilly redneck guy. And then there's
From
another
New York. Yeah, great. But you say he's pretty good?
Yeah, he's good.
All right. Well, I'll let you get some sleep, buddy. I know you got probably get up and do some babysitting tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to get up early.